This is Pittsburgh Steelers football. Steeler football is brought to you by The Snap Shop at Giant Eagle, where you get 2 prints for one low price. By Iron City, celebrating 125 years of quality, integrity, and tradition. By Pittsburgh National Bank, we're a bank that believes in performance. And by McDonald's, it's a good time to try one of McDonald's new salads, tossed fresh every day.
Live from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., it's Pittsburgh Steeler preseason football. Tonight, the Steelers take on the Washington Redskins. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Hello again, everybody. I'm Stan Savran, my partner Jack Hammond. I welcome you to Pittsburgh Steeler preseason football. As you know, the Steelers last week in their opener lost to the Chicago Bears 33-13. Jack, not trying to disguise the fact the team played badly, but preseason primarily is to evaluate individuals.
Stan, you're exactly right. You know, the Bears won 33-13. But I mean, we would need to look at young people. Not one rookie other than Russell Holmes played well last week. We need a Chris Sheffield or an Anthony Hinton or Gerald Williams to come through this week and play well to catch the eye of Chuck Noll.
Well, the Steelers are looking for impact players from their rookie crop. It's too early to evaluate certainly the 1986 crop, but the fact of the matter is that the Steelers built a dynasty in the 70s through the draft primarily. They have not been that fortunate the last number of years. That's the reason they were 7-9 and struggling perhaps a bit this year. The truth is the Steeler draft in recent years has been very unproductive. There was a time when the Steelers drafted players and turned them into Pro Bowlers and Hall of Famers like they were coming off an assembly line. And it wasn't only first rounders, 4th rounders, 10th rounders, free agents.
I know back then, you know, when we had some good drafts, you know, we really had the edge in hard work. We really put the time in. And again, not that we're not working hard now, but everyone else is working hard. Everyone else is spending a lot of money. And we used to really go out and hustle and catch a lot of guys sitting on their hands.
But the Steeler draft has taken a turn for the worse, and so have their fortunes. They have drafted just 2 Pro Bowlers since 1974. And the brain trust now resembles the Sunday golfer who has lost his swing and can't get it back.
I don't know. I don't play golf. You know, I play the draft. You know, and you know, hopefully we haven't lost it too much.
The draft is still the best way, but when it's not going well, how about alternatives? The Dallas Cowboys used a 5th round pick in 1985 to select Herschel Walker and will soon reap the benefits of that pick. The Steelers used their 5th round pick that season to draft Cam Jacobs. Tonight's opponent, the Washington Redskins, drafted Kelvin Bryant. The Steelers could have drafted Bryant, but selected Mark Kirchner in the 7th round instead. Why haven't the Steelers been more aggressive, more innovative in player acquisition?
The thinking was that we needed players to help us right now, and we did not know how long you know, the other league was going to stay in business. If we hadn't done as well as we did in the recent court case, you know, we would look like we were pretty smart.
Of course, that's all fine and dandy if you get the players to help you right now, but the fact of the matter is, Jack, the Steelers have not, and we are watching 2 teams here with differing philosophies. While the Steelers have yet to sign a USFL player, the Redskins have already signed 8, although only 1 will be in uniform tonight.
I think Washington was a good football team prior to getting the USFL players. Now the addition of Kelvin Bryant at running back, Doug Williams and Derek Holloway, and about 5 or 6 other guys, they are a true playoff contender, and I think you got to give a lot of credit to the general manager, Bobby Beathard.
Well, the Steelers still hope that the way to go is through the draft. Last year, they are still waiting for some productivity from their number 1, but they hope to get some productivity from number 1, John Rienstra, who signed with the Steelers this week and has had a couple of practice sessions.
Well, I think all the coaches, and Dan Rooney included, have forgotten about the holdout of John Rienstra. He had a good week of practice. He should play a lot, not only on special teams, but during the course of the game, because the Redskins play a 4-3 defense, which is a very simple defense, and also John Rienstra is a real bright guy and has picked up the offensive system very quickly.
Jack, are you surprised that he's going to play a lot from scrimmage? We had been told he would only play on the kickoff return team. Now we find out he's going to play from scrimmage. It's remarkable that he's going to be able to play any length of time given the amount of practice time he's had.
Well, everyone knew he was a strong, big, strong kid who could run block and also pass protect, but I don't think anyone realized how much of a smart guy he is. He picks up the system so quickly, and Chuck Noll said he did not make that many mental errors in practice this week, so he's going to play him quite a bit.
All right, the Steelers are going to kick off to start the football game. Offensively, however, here's the quarterbacking situation. Mark Malone will start and play the first half. Rookie Bubby Brister will play the third quarter. Scott Campbell will play the fourth quarter. So we're going to get our first look at Walter Bubby Brister. You know, the Steelers had that 15-game winning streak in preseason openers, losing to the Bears last week. This is the first time that the Redskins and Steelers have played in preseason in 10 years. As a matter of fact, it's almost a year to the day. August 14th, 1976. The Steelers beat the Redskins right here, 27-7 in that preseason game. George Allen was the coach of the Washington Redskins. That's how long ago it's been. Ken Jenkins is back deep for the Washington Redskins to accept the kickoff by Gary Anderson. Anderson moved several kicks into the end zone last week against the Bears. We are underway in the nation's capital. Jenkins at the 2. And out to the 25-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for the Steelers. Making the tackle on the kickoff was Greg Carr. Here's the Steelers defense. Keith Willis starts at left end. Gary Dunn will start at nose tackle. Edmund Nelson moves back outside to right end. Mike Merriweather, left outside linebacker. Dennis Winston starting in place of David Little inside, along with Robin Cole. Anthony Hinton starting for Brian Hinkle. Hinkle's got a bruised shoulder. Woodruff and Clayton on the corner. Shell and Williams are the safeties. Redskins first and 10. Jay Schrader at quarterback. We'll set that Redskin defense in a moment. That's Monk in motion to the far side. Schrader with the play fake. Firing, incomplete. Pass intended from the far sideline for Art Monk, incomplete. Second down and 10. Here's the Washington Redskin offense. The Hogs kind of depleted. Joe Jacoby at left tackle. Riley McKenzie replaces former Pitt star Russ Grimm. He's got a bad foot. Jeff Bostic at center. Ken Huff, the veteran at right guard. Former Pitt All-American Mark May at right tackle. Rogers, the lone setback. Monk and Clark, the wideouts. Double tight end for the Redskins. Warren and Clint Didier. And Jay Schrader, who got his first NFL start against the Steelers last year in a Redskin victory, is at quarterback. And Mark May moved, among others, but he appeared to be the first. Jack, are you a bit surprised to see Dirt Winston starting in place of David Little, and should we read anything into that?
Well, I think what we read in it right now, Stan, is the fact there is competition there, that middle linebacker position. David Little has done a good job for the last couple of years replacing Jack Lambert, but Dennis Winston came into camp this year in the best shape he's ever been in. Coming from New Orleans right now, he's picked up the defensive system very quickly, and I think Chuck Noll likes the way he plays pass defense, so we're giving Dennis Winston a shot, and there's real competition in that middle linebacker position.
Well, Winston really came into camp in tremendous condition. He is in his 10th year, and he knows that he's got to make the ball club to keep his pro football career alive. Ken Jenkins, the lone setback after the penalty against the Redskins and Mark May. Straight drop Schrader. He's flushed out of the pocket, almost sacked. Fires on the run, incomplete, threw it away as much as anything. Robin Cole on the blitz, flushed Schrader out of the pocket and forced him to throw in a hurry and on the run.
I tell you, Robin Cole Robin Cole jumps down a defensive end, gets a great jump on the ball. He almost times the snap. You see him beat Mark May right up the field, and Schrader has to run out of the pocket. Robin Cole is an excellent defensive end. When he moves down a defensive end, he's an excellent pass rusher. That time he beat a good Mark May.
Keith Willis also continued the pressure after Schrader got outside of Cole. 2nd down and 15 from the 20. Didier on a wing right. Monk short motion. Schrader with time, fires in the flat, incomplete. It is dropped by Jenkins coming out of the backfield. Should have had it. That'll bring up 3rd down and 15.
Well, those are the matchups the Redskins love to get as a running back like Jenkins on a linebacker, and he just breaks to the outside. And he's a little quicker than the inside linebackers for Pittsburgh, and he should have had the football and just dropped the ball. But at that time, Schrader put the ball right on the money.
My mistake. It is 4th down. Errol Tucker back deep for the Steelers. This is Jeff Hayes, who's in a punting battle. Last week against New England, Hayes averaged 41.7. Big rush by the Steelers. Tucker signals for the fair catch. And he makes it at the 46-yard line. So the Steelers get excellent field position. Only a 34-yard punt by Jeff Hayes and the fair catch by Errol Tucker. So the Steelers coming out on offense. Ray Pinney missed last week. Will start at left tackle. Randy Rasmussen at guard. Webster at center. Terry Long hurt his elbow in practice Wednesday, but he will start. Tunchilkin at tackle. Walter Abercrombie will start at halfback. The fullback Dwayne Hooper, Stallworth, Lips, and Gothard. Mark Malone is at quarterback. Abercrombie surprisingly starting at running back. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get it on the first play. There's Abercrombie in trouble. Got back to the line of scrimmage. There's a flag down on the play as well. Ken Coffey, the starting strong safety, number 48, pushed him out of bounds. So no gain for Abercrombie, but a flag on the play and a hold against the Steelers.
You see Abercrombie right now take that stutter step, give a chance for the offensive lineman to get in front, but Rich Malott, the linebacker, he gets penetration, forces Abercrombie to the sideline, and that play had no chance of working at all. Penetration against that counter play will stop it almost every time.
The holding call against the Steelers. It is accepted by the Redskins, so it is 1st and 20. Malott's penetration, Jack, was so good, it did not allow Terry Long to get outside on the pole, and that really ruined the play. 1st and 20. Last week, Mark Malone, 8 out of 18. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Single back set with Hooper. Draw play to Hooper. Nowhere, and they lose a yard. Neil Olkowicz, the middle linebacker. First man in on the play. Also Tom Beasley, the former Steeler. For the Redskins, the front four, Charles Mann, Dave Butts, the Giant from Purdue, Dean Hamill, and the former Steeler, Tom Beasley, the 9-year veteran out of Virginia Tech. Kaufman, Olkowicz, and Rich Malott are the linebackers. The corners for the Redskins, Darrell Green, the NFL's fastest man. Vernon Dean on the other corner. Ken Coffey starts at strong safety, and Curtis Jordan, a 10-year veteran, starts at free safety. 2nd down and 21. Both receivers to the near side. Malone. Screen to Hooper. Good block by Long. Gets out near the 45-yard line where Mel Kaufman pushed him out of bounds. Well, the gain is nearly 9 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 12.
That screen can work only because Louis Lips and John Stallworth, 2 wide receivers on the same side of the field, are taking the defenders deep and to the outside. That gives a chance for that screen to be set up. You see Mark Malone play action pass, looking downfield, and at the last minute he turns and throws the ball out to Hooper. The Redskins defense reacts very quickly. Hooper here trying to get to the outside and get some positive yards.
3rd down and 12. Steelers their own 44-yard line. Ehrenberg in the ball game on a wing left. Malone, time, throws, and it is caught at the 40-yard line by Rich Ehrenberg. A great catch by Ehrenberg, who had a defender on his back. Kurt Govea, rookie linebacker out of Brigham Young.
Rich Ehrenberg did a super job. He's an option route. He's coming out of the backfield, running a route on Coleman, the linebacker. You see Coleman right now on the inside, holds him. That's the flag. But Ehrenberg still breaks to the inside and makes a super catch across the middle.
Ehrenberg caught one pass last week for 18 yards. Picks up a first down here.
You see Mark Malone looking at Ehrenberg all the way. It's an option route for Ehrenberg to take the linebacker any way he wants to. He gives him a fake to the outside, breaks it across the middle, and made that catch.
There was an interference call, holding call against the Redskin defense, naturally declined by the Steelers because the pickup was 16 yards and a Steeler first down at the Redskin 40. Malone, ball batted at the line of scrimmage. He was looking for Walter Abercrombie in the flat, but the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
In the last 2 passing plays, they're really using Louis Lips and John Stallworth as a decoy deep and then dropping the ball off. This time trying to get the ball to Abercrombie. The play before that on the passing play was a screen to Hooper. So they're using the 2 wide people as decoys, taking that defense deep.
First incompletion of the night for Malone. Last week, the Steelers, as a team, completed 19 passes. 11 of them were to running backs, 1 to a tight end. Abercrombie and Hooper in a pro set. Malone looking along the sideline, and it is incomplete. A flag is down, and the Redskins are going to get called for pass interference. Darrell Green and Louis Lips going one-on-one, but they're going to rule that Green got there before the ball, and we'll get a look at it here.
This is a great matchup. Bump and run coverage. Louis Lips against Darrell Green. He's right with him, man to man. He comes back to the football right now. He comes over his back, and the official right there called that pass interference. A close call, but Darrell Green was right on top of Louis Lips.
We were saying about Darrell Green that he likes to play a very physical game with wide receivers, even though he's rather small.
And he likes to bait quarterback. He is so quick. He talked about him beating Willie Galt in a 60-yard dash. He likes to bait quarterbacks into thinking the wide receiver is open, and he has the best closing speed of any defensive back in the NFL.
Jack's referring to that competition. Kind of a superstars. He did beat Willie Galt, who earned the NFL's fastest man title. Malone looking to the far sideline. And the pass is complete inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Vernon Dean on the coverage to John Stallworth. Short game, 2nd down.
And so far, different than last week, Malone's getting pretty good protection. The defensive line is not getting to Malone. He's not getting Dave Butts in his face, so he has a chance to look downfield. So he's got a little more relaxed feeling out there in the first quarter than he did last week.
The Redskins had 1 sack last week against the Patriots. They lost that game, by the way, 18-7. Gain is 5, 2nd down and 5 yards to go. Abercrombie finds a hole, drives down near the 20-yard line, close to the first down. Ken Coffey, the strong safety, 3-year veteran out of Southwest Texas State, coming up to make the tackle. Looks like it's short. 3rd down, about a yard.
And that's a play Pittsburgh has run for the last 15 years. It's a quick trap inside. Abercrombie, who's so quick off the football, takes it right up the middle. That's a play that's bread and butter for so many years, and he ran it again right there.
Steelers will come in with Mark Benny and go to a short yardage type offense. Ouija Thompson in the ball game. Steelers with an extra tackle. They're playing 3 tackles in there now. And this is Hooper. Follows the block and does not get there. He's dropped for a loss on the 3rd and 1. Penetration made by Tom Beasley. And then Alvin Walton, a rookie out of Kansas, the Redskins' 3rd-round draft choice, leveled them for a yard loss to bring up 4th down.
The way you play goal line or short yardage defense is get penetration. You see Beasley right here across the line of scrimmage. Walton cleaning up, gang tackling, so Hooper does not have a chance to get the 1st down.
Anderson to attempt a 39-yard field goal. He was 2 out of 3 last week. The only one he missed was a 55-yard attempt. Anderson's kick is up, and it is good. So the Steelers, on their first possession, get a field goal, 39-yarder from Gary Anderson. We've got a timeout, 10:51 to play in the first quarter. The Steelers lead the Redskins 3-0. We'll be back in just a moment. Gary Anderson's 39-yard field goal has given the Steelers a 3-0 lead on the Washington Redskins. The drive, 32 yards, mixed it up pretty well, and again the Anderson field goal. Jack, I mentioned it last week. 11 of the 19 completions were to running backs. Now, we've seen Malone throw to running backs tonight, but I know that you don't expect him to throw to the backs as much this week as last.
Well, a lot of the catches last week, like Warren Sites, were just the back out of the backfield, just circling out in the flat. He's against the Chicago Bears zone defense, and that play will be there all afternoon. Today, the Washington Redskins play predominantly man-to-man coverage, so anytime you'll see backs catching the ball will be like Ehrenberg did on an option route against a linebacker one-on-one, because that's a mismatch of running back against a linebacker, but you will not see that swing pass dumping it off to the backs this evening.
Ken Jenkins back deep for the Redskins, returned 23 yards his first time. Anderson to approach. Fairly short for Anderson. Jenkins at the 6. And a good return out to the 30-yard line. Making the tackle for the Steelers, Dave Edwards, who had a big game last week against the Bears, was singled out. This is Gordon Brown on the special team.
This is where a rookie can make the football team on special teams. You see him get held up right there by the 40-yard line. He tries to sift through some people and make the play, but he's got to avoid the initial blocker, get through that blocker without getting touched, and then get in on the play.
At 34 for the Redskins was Kevin Williams. He's a rookie defensive back, or a second-year defensive back out of Iowa State. Now George Rogers in the game as the Redskins come out in the I. Jenkins is the up back. Rogers beats one tackle and dives across the 30 for a couple. Rogers' first appearance in the ball game, had 58 yards last week against the Patriots. Dirt Winston makes the tackle for the Steelers.
And on first down, Pittsburgh was in the 31 defense. They had Anthony Hinton and Merriweather on the same side of the field. That's the way you can tell when they're in that 31 defense for a running play for 2 yards.
Schrader last week completed 8 out of 16 for the Skins. No touchdowns. He was intercepted once. Monk in a slot left. Rogers the lone setback on 2nd and 8. Delayed draw to Rogers. Got blockers ahead. He is stormed under and a loose 2 yards back to the 30-yard line. Good job by the Steeler defense. Robin Cole and Dirt Winston broke through the interference along with Anthony Hinton to knock him down.
See Anthony Hinton right here lining up on the tight end. He goes down with the tight end for a second, then comes right back down the line of scrimmage. You see Cole coming out, and also on the outside containing the play. You can't see him at the bottom of the screen is Merriweather, who read the play from the slot formation. Good job by Anthony Hinton. He is the 9th round draft choice out of Troy State. He starts tonight because Brian Hinkle has a bruised shoulder. 3rd down, 10. That's Clint Didier, the H-back. Darrell Sims in the ball game. Schrader throws, and it is caught for a first down over the 43-yard line. Art Monk, the leading receiver for the Redskins, makes the reception. It's a gain of nearly 13 and a Washington first down. Art Monk is his favorite receiver for Jay Schrader. He sets up in the pocket, no pressure at all. You see all the offensive linemen, those big hogs right in front of him. He has time to deliver the ball with good timing to Art Monk, and he goes down and makes the catch. You see Monk right now, you see Woodruff on the outside. He goes up the field 2 or 3 steps. When Monk makes that cut and breaks down, Dwayne Woodruff went up two or three more steps, could not stay with him. The Redskins with their initial first down. Sideline, and it is caught. And running out of bounds is Clint Didier. 2 Steelers were right there, and Didier somehow came down with a pass and another first down. Robin Cole and Eric Williams were there. They had Didier double teamed, Robin Cole underneath, and Eric Williams over the top. Jay Schrader gets the ball right in. Robin Cole's about a step behind, and Eric Williams cannot react, but looks like it's a holding penalty, and they'll bring that play back. It is coming back. The penalty against the Redskins, which would have put Washington in Steeler territory, is nullified. The problem right here is really Robin Cole should try to get underneath the receiver that much more, so Jay Schrader cannot drill the football at Didier. That'll give time for Eric Williams to come over the top. Robin Cole is about a step behind Didier on the play, and that's why it was completed. Mark May called for the holding. That'll bring it back to the 33-yard line. Is the tight end the hot man, Jack? Is that why there was double coverage? Well, I think he went to the receiver who had double coverage at the time and just lucked out on the play. Merriweather on a blitz. Schrader throwing deep on the sideline, and it is caught by Monk. And he's gone for a touchdown. If he can beat the last man, he does. Touchdown. The interference call will go against Harvey Clayton. He was beaten badly by Art Monk. 67 yards and a touchdown. And Stan, when we see the replay, Pittsburgh was in the 31 defense one more time. They had Hinton and Merriweather lined up on the same side of the field. Merriweather coming off the corner, a blitz situation, and Harvey Clayton gets beat for the second week in a row.
Good call, Jack. The 31 defense, the Bears version of the 46, and the Steelers get burned again.
You see Jay Schrader is just one-on-one coverage. Monk is probably one of the best receivers going deep. He's a lot taller than a lot of the other defensive backs. It's one-on-one bump and run coverage, and Clayton gets beat.
Well, Clayton never looked back for the ball. He never sees where it is. Monk adjusts to the ball.
See, Monk slowed down. He adjusted on the football. And he's such a tall receiver that Clayton never knew where the ball was, and Monk was looking at it the whole way and just pulled it in.
Mark Mosley picks the extra point. And for the second straight week, the Steelers get burned on that 31 defense. 8:16 to play in the first quarter. We've got a timeout. The Redskins 7, the Steelers 3. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you're still shopping supermarket weekly specials, hold on to your wallet, because for every price they drop, they raise others to pay for it. Lower one price, raise another. Down, up, save, lose. It's enough to throw even the smartest shopper for a loop. But there's one way to bring the cost of your food bill down without all the ups. No specials, just absolute minimum pricing on everything every day. Shop the new Giant Eagle. It sure beats getting taken for a ride.
Imagine there is a magnificent estate where the owners enjoy an occasional ballet or opera, a winter sleigh ride, even some cool jazz on a warm summer night. This is Heartwood Acres. And the owners? They're the 1.5 million residents of Allegheny County. Heartwood Acres is one great performance we all can enjoy. Pittsburgh National. We're a bank that believes in performance.
The bomb from Jay Schrader to Art Monk, beating Harvey Clayton, and the Redskins are on top 7-3, 67-yard bomb. I want to show you what it looks like from the cheap seats. This is the view we get. And they're really cheap seats because we don't pay to get in. But this is our crew, our statistician Charlie Fisher, John Grohall, the captain Ron Rickens. This is the crew, and this is what it looks like from up here.
And no air conditioning up here.
And no air conditioning up here whatsoever. All right, there's Art Monk out of Syracuse, brilliant wide receiver. There perhaps is a case where Clayton at about 5'7", 5'8" is at a distinct disadvantage, Jack, for a guy who's about 6'2", 6'3".
Well, that's where all the pressure is on the cornerback and also on Anthony Hinton, the linebackers. He has the tight end man-to-man all over the field as well on that 31 defense. So as soon as Schrader sees Merriweather coming off the corner, he's going to the wide people, and that time Art Monk for the touchdown.
All right, Errol Tucker back deep, but Dan Reeder will get first shot at the ball. Does it go out of bounds? Yes, it does. They'll kick over. Got to wait till it jumped into the corner. So the Redskins will be forced to kick over. Last week against the Bears, Tucker averaged 20.3 per kickoff return. And here's the touchdown pass again.
See, and Art Monk knows exactly it's blitz coverage because he sees the safeties up on the line of scrimmage as well. So he just goes up and adjusts on the football. And the thing about it, the defensive back, he's got to get good position so he can turn back for the ball. And Harvey Clayton could never do that, and that's why Art Monk pulled it in for the touchdown.
All right, Jack, why couldn't he? The pass was relatively low. Monk did make a nice adjustment. Why? And what is the defensive back looking for as to when to turn back and look? Is he watching the receiver's eyes?
Well, you have to watch the receiver's eyes when he turns back for the ball, but when a defensive back gets beat, it's usually on the first 2 or 3 steps right at the line of scrimmage. That's when you want to establish your position with your the wide receiver. You want to jam him at the line of scrimmage and then get a good inside position. Monk got away from him at the line of scrimmage and was trying to play catch-up from there on out.
Jim Asmus kicking off. He played in the USFL for a couple of years. He's battling Mark Mosley, among others, and Steve Cox for the job. Tucker at the 3. Got a lane. He may go. Tucker to the 40. Errol Tucker. Touchdown, Steelers. Errol Tucker, 97-yard kickoff return. The rookie.
We talked about a rookie making a big impact in this game. Errol Tucker on the kickoff return took it right around the 2-yard line and got a host of good blocks around the 20-yard line and broke it to the outside, and no one could catch it.
Boy, that thing opened up beautifully for him.
It's a middle return coming right up the middle. You see Dan Reeder walling off of the defender, and then it's all Errol Tucker breaking it back to the outside, and those players from the Redskins cannot catch him. Tucker's got outstanding speed, and he takes it in for the score.
Errol Tucker, the 5th-round draft choice out of Utah. That is why the Steelers drafted him. If he can play the corner, that's a plus. But he's a kick returner. Gary Anderson adds the extra point. And just like that, after good blocks by Dan Reeder and Gordon Brown, the Steelers, on a 97-yard kickoff return, have taken the lead. We've got a timeout. 7:52 to play in the quarter. The Steelers lead at 10-7. We'll be back in just a moment.
No other taste attracts so much attention. Diet Pepsi.
You gotta be the most refreshingest invention.
See that smile, see that look. Diet Pepsi is all it took. Diet Pepsi. Have I mentioned? You gotta be the most refreshingest invention. No other taste attracts so much attention.
Smokeless in a pouch is a good idea, but the taste can be dry as a West Texas wind. Not new Renegades. They're packed with darker, richer, moister tobacco. And there's a lot more than these. So all you taste is moist, satisfying tobacco. Not the pouch. Bigger, moister. With a taste that blows the others away.
You are looking at the Steelers' #1 draft choice, John Reenstrup. Maybe this is an omen. Reenstrup, in his first play as a professional, blocks on a kickoff return for a touchdown. Here he is.
Well, he's a left guard right now, just setting up right now, and he just takes on the defensive back right now, just trying to wall him off, and he just walls him off enough, and then Dan Reeder helps out on the play. He continues to make better blocks than that. He will earn that $650,000 bonus.
Well, that was Raphael Cherry, who is about 5'2" and 112 pounds. He's a small guy. But Reenstrup did his job there, didn't knock him over. You don't have to knock a guy over.
You can create a stalemate and not let the guy get position across your face and get in on the ball carrier. You're really doing your job. It wasn't a classic block by Reenstrup, but he got the job done.
Gary Anderson to kick off. Rookie Lionel Vitale is back deep, number 20. He averaged 21 yards per kick return last week from the 6. He's a little guy, too. He is hit hard. Fumble. And the Steelers, I believe, have recovered at the 27-yard line. Vitale was hit hard. The Steelers have recovered the fumble. We'll see who comes out of it. Gordon Brown has recovered the fumble for the Steelers. Let's see who made the hit.
This is Lionel Vitale trying to take it right up the middle on a kickoff return right here. I cannot even get the number on the play, but a tremendous hitter about the 25-yard line pops the ball loose.
We think it's Russell Holmes, Jack, who may have caused the fumble.
Well, Russell Holmes did it again. Here he comes. He makes the play, and he gets the helmet on the football and pops it right out. And he continues to make plays like that, and the plays he made last week, he's going to make this team on special teams. He
did a great job against the Bears, and he makes a big play there. So Lionel Vitale, who's about the same size as Tucker, fumbles. Abercrombie, no gain. Charles Mann, left defensive end, number 71, first man in on the play. There he is. He's a 4-year veteran out of Nevada Reno. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Steelers.
I'm not sure what Chuck Knoll told the special teams players last week up at Latrobe, but they sure came out this week. Last week it was not a positive thing. This week they make big plays on special teams like this. Here's the kickoff return for Errol Tucker, taking it up the middle, breaking it back now to the outside, makes a few people miss, and now the rest is on his own, and he just outruns the rest of the Washington Redskins.
Alone, a lot of time. He's got room to run. Now he's flushed out, and he's sacked back at the 33-yard line again by Charles Mann. But the Redskins secondary responsible for that sack and the loss of some 5 to 6 yards. Malone could not find anyone to throw to. It'll be 3rd down and very long yardage.
Charles Mann runs down Mark Malone. I can remember Mark Malone had 4.5 speed and a 40-yard dash, was a wide receiver at times. That's what playing quarterback for a number of years in the NFL can do. He cannot turn that corner, and Charles Mann, a defensive end, brings him down.
Well, he had the angle on him, that's all. It's not a matter of speed.
Well, it's been knee surgery for Mark Malone, which really hurt him quite a bit, took away a lot of his speed and quickness, and he's not the athlete he was when he was a rookie with Pittsburgh.
Lips in the slot left, Stallworth wide left. Stallworth, by the way, is playing with a virus tonight. 3rd down and 16. Malone, it is caught at the 17-yard line, and a 1st down for the Steelers. Calvin Sweeney in as the 3rd wide receiver, and a big gain for the Steelers. Ken Coffey, the strong safety, made the tackle.
Give credit to the offensive line again. You see Butts, right? Mike Webster doing a heck of a job on him. Hooper's trying to find somebody to block. Finally, Calvin Sweeney runs that in route right around the 20-yard line, 17-yard line. Sweeney runs that in route. Here he comes, just turns in because Mark Malone had a lot of time to find Sweeney open.
Well, they're going to mark the Steelers about a half-yard shy of the 1st down. I'm a little bit surprised at the spot of the ball. I thought Sweeney had the 1st down easily. In any event, it is 4th down, less than a yard. Sneak. And we'll wait, but I think Malone's got it. This is something interesting, Jack, in that in past years, the Steelers went with an extra tight end in short yardage. Now they're bringing in Mark Benning as the 3rd tackle.
And Mark Benning is almost 300 pounds, and he can block out the sun, so they might as well put him in there. He's an excellent run blocker coming from the University of Nebraska. They knew he was a powerful run blocker, so on a 3rd or 4th down situation in short yardage, they're going to bring him in the game. It's a good substitution to make.
Malone gets the yard necessary, the ball just inside the 17. 1st down and 10. The Steelers now with the pro set backfield. Hooper. It's about 3 near the 14-yard line. There's a flag on the play. Rich Malott made the tackle for the Redskins and a penalty against the Steelers. .5:35 to play in the 1st quarter. Here's Benning.
This is not really a trap. He's just coming around. It's going to turn. He's trying to, the guard's blocking out, and he's coming around the block, around the guard, trying to block the linebacker, and they called a holding penalty. The referee was about 15 yards away when he threw that flag. I don't know how he could see a holding in the mass of those big offensive defensive linemen.
Actually, Oklowitz did a pretty good job of taking on the block and shedding the block. The ball back. 1st down, 20. Steelers in an eye. Malone half roll firing, and it is incomplete. 2 receivers in the area. Hooper was running along the flat. Gothard was there, and Stallworth was a bit further downfield. Pass goes incomplete. 2nd down. Malone now has completed 4 out of 6 for 47 yards.
And that's a tough throw for Mark Malone. They call the rollout to his left, a right-handed quarterback trying to throw on a run. It's difficult to get any kind of accuracy on the football to your receivers downfield, and he missed any one of 3 receivers because his momentum was carrying one way, and he's trying to release the football.
2nd down, 20. The Steelers near the Redskin 26. Same type action. Malone's in big trouble. Cuts inside, hit hard inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line. Again, Charles Mann, who's been wearing like a 2nd jersey on Malone. That'll be a sack. The loss is 3. It'll be 3rd down and 23.
He saw Mark Malone at the line of scrimmage a long time. You see the backs readjusting to the I formation. Again, he's rolling out to his left. There was some confusion. You see Dave Butts coming clean. And when Dave Butts is coming at you, Mark Malone's going to run. He's trying to find an open area or open hole to run. Just could not find it, and he gets caught for the sack.
Butts in his 14th year out of Purdue. 6'7", 300 pounds. 3rd down, 23 yards for the 1st down. Malone looking, firing deep in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers! Calvin Sweeney, the 3rd wideout in the ball game. A 29-yard touchdown pass, Mark Malone to Calvin Sweeney. Vernon Dean, the guilty party.
We talk about the Redskins being man-to-man coverage. Here we see Mark Malone getting good protection again this time. Calvin Sweeney's running that post, and then he's breaking it back to the outside. You see Dean behind him by about a step. The ball is a little bit underthrown, but Calvin Sweeney is just on the football and makes the touchdown catch.
Sweeney's 2nd catch tonight. He caught 3 last week against the Bears. Gary Anderson with the extra point. almost automatic. 4:43 to play in the first quarter. And the Steelers have come back to take a 10-point lead after trailing 7-3. We've got a timeout. The Steelers 17, Washington 7. We'll be back.
Playing ball now, playing's fun, but the best is yet to come. Now this is living, now feeling fine. Get your golden, I got mine. Yeah, I got my gang, got my beer. I see golden times are here.
Icy Golden, brewed fresh and natural for a smooth and golden taste.
Yeah, I got my gang, got my beer. I see golden times are here.
Jenkins, will you be a dear and find my gym shoes?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell Peter I'll be at Scandinavian. Oh, and another thing, Jenkins, please fetch my gym bag.
Perhaps, madam, I could exercise for you as well.
No, Jenkins. There are some things one must do for oneself.
50% off annual dues at Scandinavian, where America comes for fitness.
Unfortunately, darling, even I have to pay my dues.
Well, the Steelers have outdone their point total from a week ago in only 1 quarter of play. And this is a look at the Malone to Sweeney touchdown pass.
You see Malone stepping back in the pocket. As Malone's throwing a football, Calvin Sweeney made a break to the post. He had the safety held for a second. Then he broke it back. You call a flag route to the side of the end zone. He had just on the football, and Vernon Dean could not come back. He was about a step or two late. You see one more look at it. You see Malone just dropping back again, getting good protection from the offensive line. And you see now the ball. Here's Calvin Sweeney at the end of his route. He breaks it back to the outside, and he turns around and adjusts on the football and makes a touchdown catch.
Officially, a 28-yard touchdown pass from Malone to Sweeney, and that was longer than where the drive started, and it was all set up by Russell Holmes, causing the fumble on the kickoff after the Errol Tucker kickoff return. So one of the important things for the Steelers, taking advantage of turnovers and turning them into touchdowns. Anderson's kick. Jenkins 3 yards deep, will come out. Cannot get past the first wave, gets out near the 20-yard line. Steelers hustling down on the special team. First man down, Greg Carr, the inside linebacker, also had help in there from Harvey Clayton.
When Chuck Noll being a special teams coach, you can bet on it that when they have a bad game like they did against the Chicago Bears, they had a punt run back on them, and they also did not play it well on special team. Today it's a positive part of their football game, and I think Chuck Noll really had a long talk to all the special teams players.
One of the sports writers told me that Chuck Noll was in a very bad mood last Monday. I can't imagine why. Rodgers the single setback. Schrader is the quarterback. Schrader firing, got a man open, and it was incomplete. Should have been caught by Gary Clark, but it was not. Second down and 10.
Gary Clark is one of those small receivers for the Redskins who likes to come across the middle. He's not afraid to catch that ball across the middle. That time, Schrader put the ball right there. Jacoby was blocking on Darrell Sims and tried to run Darrell Sims by Schrader on the play, and Clark just missed the ball.
Schrader now 2 out of 6, 80 yards. Of course, 67 came on the touchdown bomb to Art Monk. Second down and 10. John Goodman at left defensive end. Gerald Williams playing on the nose. Rodgers. He can't find a hole anywhere. Good job by the Steeler defensive line. Darrell Sims and Gerald Williams making the tackle. No gain for George Rodgers.
That's what a nose tackle can do if he reads the play. He's on top of the center. He comes down the line of scrimmage. Darrell Sims did a pretty good job at containing the play. You see right now it's a toss to the outside to Rodgers. He's trying to find a hole, and all along this time, Gerald Williams is coming right down the line of scrimmage. You see him right there, was contained for him. That's good defense for Pittsburgh.
Also good run support by Eric Williams. You see Cole in there also. Third down, 10 yards. John Swain moves up on the line of scrimmage in right corner. No setbacks behind Schrader. Time. Fires to Jenkins, but short of the first down. It'll depend on the mark. He had to get to the 30-yard line, just a bit over it. And they give him a first down on the spot of the ball. John Swain on the coverage and the tackle.
Third down play, and it's a big possession. They keep possession of the football. Schrader, again, there's no pressure up the middle. Finally finds the receiver wide open on the sideline. You see Ken Jenkins turn up, see exactly where that marker is. Here's Joe Jacoby and Darrell Sims going at it. You see Joe, he's trying to pull Joe Jacoby to one side and go the other way. Joe Jacoby is an all-pro tackle, and he's about 305 pounds, and a load there for Darrell Sims.
A third down conversion for the Redskins. Steelers in a three-man front. This is Rogers, big hole up the middle. The 40 and out to the 42, and a Washington first down. George Rogers picking his way for 12 and a first down. Donnie Shell and Eric Williams making the tackle for Pittsburgh.
You see a man in motion right now. It's just a straight-ahead blocking. They're just trying to take their men any way they can, and Rogers is trying to pick for the hole. He goes right up the middle. He's a strong, powerful back. He fumbled a lot last year. He thinks this year, without John Riggins in Washington, he'll have a much more productive year.
Of course, Kelvin Bryant will be here shortly. He'll begin practicing for the Redskins on Monday. In and on. Rogers again. Not much doing that time. The Steelers' inside linebacker, Robin Cole, was first man there. Stood up Rogers at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be second down and 10.
Well, when you have Robin Cole and Dennis Winston in there as the two inside linebackers, they can sure play the run. They're very tough, very physical players, and they just stepped up on that offensive line of the Redskins and just stuffed them right at the line of scrimmage for about a half-a-yard gain. He never smiles, does he?
Maybe if this were January 25th in Pasadena, California, he might be smiling. Second down and 10. Sims will go against Jacoby again. Schrader quickly over the middle. Dumping over the middle with Clint Didier, the tight end. Donnie Shell makes the tackle. A very short gain on the play, about 6. It'll be third down. And a long 3 yards to go for the first down. Now Didier is an H-back, U-back. Exactly what is that, Jack? He's a second tight end, but...
Well, the H-back is not much different than another running back, except you're in motion, usually to try to help out on the blocking, on the pass protection, and also lead on the running play. There's nothing more than another running back, but lined up in motion to either side of the field.
Minute and a half to play in the quarter. Third down, long 3. Didier. Steelers jump. Schrader gets it away before the blitz is there. It is incomplete, overthrown. And although the blitzer did not get there, it forced Schrader to throw early and overthrow Art Monk. Dennis Winston with the blitz from the left outside linebacker. Now, were the Steelers offside?
Dennis Winston is arguing with the referee right now. It was a cut and dry play. Dirt was in the neutral zone. They called him for offside, and he's still arguing with the official on play. That's the type of competitor he is.
And that gives the Redskins a first down, whereas they would have been forced to punt. Yeah, I'd say Dirt is in the neutral zone. Yeah.
His foot is in the backfield of the Redskins, and he's arguing it was not offsides.
He could read Schrader's number on the back of Schrader's helmet. He was so far in there. By the way, the NFL's instant replay system is in effect tonight. Should it be used?
And they did not need it there.
First and 10, Washington, a gift first down. Schrader out in the flat, caught by Clark. And the game will give Washington another first down at the Steelers' 35-yard line. John Swain makes the tackle. Nothing but a quick out to the flanker. Anthony Hinton also on the play.
You see Anthony Hinton here dropping back. They're playing his zone. He's trying to help out underneath on Clark. You see him coming over and helping out on the tackle. That's the Washington Redskin offense. Nickel and dime offense. At Clark for maybe a 6-yard hook. Didier's a possession receiver. And then Art Monk is a deep threat for him. So it's a balanced offense. They can do a lot of different things against a defense.
The Redskins' top pick in the draft was second-round pick Walter Murray. He's still a holdout. They knew they were thin at wide receiver, and so they signed a bunch of USFL players. Rogers beats a tackle in the backfield, gains a yard inside the 35 near the 34. Winston and Cole on the tackle, and that should be the last play of the first quarter.
The wrap on George Rogers, he has a tough time running to his left. He enjoys running to the right side or up the middle, but he's fumbled quite a bit going to his left. That time he got about 2 yards because Pittsburgh got penetration in the backfield on the play.
Clock running out on the first quarter of play, and it's been a good quarter for the Steelers. A couple of long scoring plays, 3 of them in the game overall. That's the end of the first quarter. The score: the Steelers 17 and the Redskins 7.
We're tossing them fresh, tossing them crisp. We're tossing new McDonald's shrimp salad. New McDonald's chef salad. New McDonald's garden salad. 3 new tastes, you know you gotta have it. We're tossing them fresh, tossing 3 great salads. And all you gotta say is, toss me a salad. It's a good time, full of great taste. Shrimp salad, chef salad, garden salad. Love McDonald's.
Milk got the kick that gives you more. Health kick.
More nutrition in every pour.
Health kick.
I'm moving through the rhythm of a brand new day, 'cause the vitamins and milk help me on my way.
Kick. So get on a health kick, let it pour. America's favorite health kick. Get on a health kick, milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more.
Part of it is this struggle of political life in corporate America.
Buffy's Black Urban Professionals on the next Donahue.
Monday at 9 on Channel 4.
Coming up at halftime, Jack and I will talk with Myron Cope about the first half of play. Lynn Cullen will have a ball with her halftime piece. And Jack Ham remembers a guy who may be the only undefeated Steeler quarterback in history. I don't think he ever lost a game in the games that he started.
I think he's undefeated for, what, 7 games?
I think it was 6.
6 games?
Steelers won 9 in a row. Of course, we're talking about 1976. Well, the Steeler rushing game is up to snuff, at least equal to last week. Only 2 yards. Remember, last week they had 40 yards on 22 carries. Passing game, 75 yards. Of course, the 28-yarder to Calvin Sweeney. The Redskins have had the big edge in total yardage, but again, 67 of their passing yardage came on one play, their touchdown pass to Art Monk.
And I think those stats show you how big part the special teams is. The Steelers really look like they have not done that much in the first half, the first quarter, but special teams have been a big factor. They're 1/3 of the game, as Chuck Noll always says, and they contribute to a number of points here for Pittsburgh in the first quarter.
Tucker's touchdown run, and the fumble caused by Russell Holmes set up the other Steeler touchdown. Schrader complete to the 30-yard line. Quickly on coverage, it was Chris Sheffield, the rookie. Clint Didier makes the reception. Sheffield, rookie free agent out of Albany State, who is getting a good look and very early in the ball game tonight.
And again, you saw Didier again in just a short hook pattern. They're trying to do the same offense that Joe Theismann's run here for a number of years in Washington, just trying to get that short chunks of yardage. Then when you come up and play man-to-man real tight, then they'll try to go deep to Art Monk.
3rd down, 5. The Redskins, 2 out of 3 on 3rd down conversion. Steelers in a blitz. Schrader throws. He's got a first down. A flag is down, however, back near the line of scrimmage. The pass by Schrader, a good one, backing up through to the far corner, but it'll come back. There's a penalty against the Redskins, a hold.
I think they caught Don Warren, number 85, for holding on the play. He might have been holding one of the defensive linemen for Pittsburgh. He was arguing for a while with the official, but he called for encircling the defensive lineman, and the official threw the flag.
So that'll force the Redskins to try it on 3rd down again and move them out of field goal range if they're unsuccessful. Here's the call.
Number 85 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Nicely done, Mr. Ham. It was Don Warren who's called on the penalty.
I know holding because I used to hold for about 12 years with Pittsburgh. I can do it a little better than that. They don't always catch me. Here's Schrader going back. You see Pittsburgh trying to run some games inside with Anthony Hinton trying to come up the middle and Darrell Sims going to the outside, but they picked it up pretty well except for the hold on Don Warren.
3rd and 15, and see the Steelers generating a pass rush. Schrader throwing, and it is caught inside the 25-yard line down to the 24-yard line. Schrader really throwing into what looked like a lot of coverage, but there was Art Monk catching it for the first down. Shell and Sheffield making the tackle.
You got a big quarterback, 6'5", trying to throw down to a big receiver, Art Monk. You see right at the end, Keith Willis puts a shot on Schrader, but he stands right in there and delivers the ball to Art Monk. Took a lot of courage on Schrader's part to stand right in there. Art Monk does such a good job of breaking down and making that turn-in route before a defensive back has time to react better than any other wide receiver in the game.
Monk having a big night and a very good pass by Jay Schrader. 1st and 10, Redskins at the Steeler 25. Branch and Rogers in the backfield. Pass caught at the 15-yard line. And to Gary Clark on a comeback pattern. Short gain, but you'd almost swear Joe Theismann was out there running this glove.
You've seen him so many years just roll out to his right. You see Schrader this time, who's a big quarterback, just rolling out to his right. At the same time, Clark is going down the field, breaking it to the outside, and he gets the ball for about a 9-yard gain. That's the Washington Redskin offense.
Woodruff fell on him for the tackle. 2nd down, short yardage, near the Steeler 15. 2nd down and about 2. Rogers hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss by Gerald Williams, the Steelers' #2 draft pick. Rogers blasted through, and one of the things John Kolb has been talking about, Williams is explosive.
When he came off the football, no one had a chance to even lay a glove on him right there. Rogers fortunate to hang on to the football at quickness in the defensive nose tackle position. Excellent job by Williams.
Jeff Bostic owes George Rogers a dinner as he missed his block, and you saw what Williams did to him. Now you see Williams offset over the guard as the Steelers go to the 4-man front. 3rd down. Schrader got his man for a 1st down to the 10-yard line. Tight end Clint Didier for the 1st down. Woodruff and Sheffield make the tackle.
Clint Didier knows how to get open in that intermediate area. He's about a 4.7, 4.8 speed and a 40-yard dash, but in 10 yards, he just works himself free. They're playing a zone. You see Woodruff on one side coming over, and also Sheffield. Schrader delivering the ball right in between the 2 defensive backs, and Didier's right there to make the catch.
Those double tight ends, we're calling Didier the tight end. He really is an H-back. But those intermediate routes, they needed 6. They got about 9. 1st and goal from the 10. Fake to Rogers, throw out in the flat. Branch cut down at the 5-yard line. Every 2nd down, John Swain made the tackle on Reggie Branch. 2nd-year man out of East Carolina.
Well, they got so many people who can catch the football. You see him faking the play action to Rogers, throwing the football out to Branch with in motion. He catches the ball in the flat, turns upfield. A better throw by Schrader, and he may have been able to take that in the end zone. He had to stop for a second, gather himself, catch the ball, and then turn upfield.
2nd and goal for the Redskins. Rogers hit at the line of scrimmage and powers his way forward for a couple inside the 3-yard line. Edmund Nelson made the first hit. Anthony Hinton cleaned up with help from Bob Coors. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
That time Pittsburgh came with an all-out blitz. Everybody was coming except Ralph Berlin, the trainer, on the play. Donnie Shell, linebackers off the corner. Fortunately for Pittsburgh, the play did not pop for a touchdown because they ran right up the middle with Rogers, and he took it down to the 3-yard line.
That is the subject of Lynn Cullen's halftime piece. I think you'll find it interesting. The ball right on the 3-yard line. It is 3rd down and goal. Steelers leading 17-7. Schrader on the run. Incomplete. A flag is down. Didier had it in his hands. Are they going to call it on Shell or for Didier on pushing off?
We'll have to wait for this call because I've seen Didier get called for a lot of offensive pass interference. We'll have to wait and see on the call. But
yeah,
Donnie Shell is lobbying on a play, but Didier does a good job of pushing off, especially on the goal line. And they caught him on the play right at the goal line, pushing Donnie Shell to the inside and breaking it back to the outside. See Schrader dropping back. Here's David Little on a blitz. You see the linebackers coming. You see the separation right there. That was caused by Didier pushing off on the play. You see him coming in motion, the H-back coming out on the route. You see Merriweather on the blitz from the outside. Ended the play right here. He just misses the ball. Pass interference is called on.
The Steelers decline the penalty, forcing the Redskins to go for a field goal. This is Steve Cox, formerly of the Cleveland Browns. He's in a battle with Mark Mosley. He is 0 for 1 in field goals this year. However, his attempt last week was one of 53 yards, so may not be the best test. This is really an extra point. Kick is up, and he missed it. Well, Mark Mosley just made the Redskin team as Cox misses what amounts to be an extra point. So the Steelers, with a goal line stand of sorts, maintain their lead at 9:41 to play in the half. The Steelers 17, the Redskins 7. And we'll be back in a moment.
Jamie, just this side of that big rock, see in the ripple?
The Western Pennsylvania Conservancy has preserved more than 90,000 beautiful acres.
I got it! Attaboy, beat him in.
So you can preserve a beautiful moment.
We got him.
For preserving nature's magnificent performance.
Till we meet again.
We thank them. Pittsburgh National, we're a bank that believes in performance.
The Cadillac Consultants invite you to put it to the test. The sleek, contemporary 86 Eldorado. It's responsive and agile. The redesigned 86 Seville, the new essence of elegance, with a computerized driver information center. Come. Get 6.9 GMAC APR financing on all Cadillacs, including the largest selection of Eldorados and Sevilles at the Cadillac Consultants of Western Pennsylvania. Length of finance contract limited.
Well, the Redskins did not get their money's worth that time. They had the ball for 10 minutes and 2 seconds, and they come away empty. It's an exhibition game, Jack. What does that do to a football team, especially the offensive players?
It's really disheartening. In fact, it happened last week for the Redskins. They drove on the Patriots all the way down inside the 10-yard line, and then they fumbled a football, came up with no point. It really takes the momentum away from not only your team, but the defense as well when it goes back out on the field, because you march the ball all the way down and come up with nothing on the play, and it's really disheartening.
Well, the Steelers will take over first down and 10 on their 20-yard line as Cox misses the 20-yard field goal. Trying to make this team, the snap was not real good.
Looked like Schroeder did get the ball down, and Cox just missed it. And I also see Mark Mosley lighting up one of Red Auerbach's victory cigars on the sidelines, because I think he feels he's got this team made.
The Steelers take over first and 10 after the missed field goal. The chance to pad their lead. Dan Reeder is the fullback, and he gets the ball on first down. Oh, as he smacked. Neil Olkowitz. Really, you can hear the contact all the way up here. The loss inside the 20 to the 17 is a -3. And now, well, they're going to mark a -2. The Steelers are now 0 rushing yards in the ball game.
Well, they're going up against the last 2 weeks. The Bears and now the Redskins are tremendous against the run, as the stats have shown so far. Reeder wishes he never got the football or in the game on that play, because he gets hit by about 4 or 5 Redskins.
Well, he buzzed right by Dan Turk, who is now the center, second down and long. Malone, sideline pattern, and it is almost intercepted. Intended for Sweeney, but Vernon Dean, who was beaten by Sweeney on the touchdown pass, almost had the interception.
Defensive back is probably one of the toughest positions to play in pro football.
Oh, it's not tougher than outside linebacker. Everyone knows that.
And especially after you've already getting beat for a touchdown. A lot of times you remember that play, you end up getting beat time and time again. That time Dean comes right back, plays aggressive cornerback position. He was right with Sweeney on the play and knocked the ball down.
Tell us the truth, really. If a defensive back gets beat, is he looking to take a shot, punch the guy or something next time out?
He's hoping to get some zone coverage the next time so the guy can run a hook and he can just bury his helmet in the back of him.
Third and 12. Malone. There was some shoving there, and I can't believe the guy didn't call it. He was looking for Sweeney, and Dean was on his back, but no call. Incomplete. Steelers 3 downs and out, and they'll be forced to punt.
The official might have made the judgment that the ball was not catchable, because Malone delivered that ball to Sweeney about a yard or 2 short. He short-hopped the ball, and Vernon Dean was all over Sweeney on the play. The official, looking at the play, did not call it.
I'm telling you, Chuck Noll's starting to get that Don Coryell look, like he's got perpetual gas or something. Coryell's, Harry Newsom to punt.
Must you be so graphic?
I'm sorry. Jenkins. Near sideline. He's still on his feet. He did not go down, and he's finally knocked out of bounds. Everybody stopped as if Jenkins' knee touched. We got a flag down also. It was almost like slow motion.
One thing you're always taught when you're playing on special teams or any play, that you've got to make sure the guy is down. Don't think he's wrapped up. I'm not sure if his knee touched down or not.
Well, the penalty is an eligible man against the Steelers. I thought for a moment, Jack, that maybe one of the officials blew his whistle, and that's why everyone stopped.
You see Jenkins going through a crowd right now. That's Warren Seitz. Looked like, I'm not even sure on the replay whether his knee touched down or not. Warren Seitz delivered a tackle to him, but did not wrap him up. You see it again right now. Jenkins gets the football, makes a few people miss, Russell Holmes included here. Now he takes the shot. You cannot tell because the assistant coaches from the Redskins are right in front of the camera, but it's very close.
The Redskins in good shape. The Steelers 17. Schrader fires the flat to Clark. Fumble. And they're going to rule a completion that he was out of bounds. Swain made the hit on Clark, and then he fumbled, but apparently Swain never had control of the ball before it crossed over the sideline.
When you have a team running a lot of those short hook routes like that, and then Swain's playing off, you've got to punish the receiver. You see him catch the quick hook right now. The ball's a little bit late coming in. Swain strips him of the football. Now he's trying to get up and get it before it gets out of bounds. Could not do it.
David Little couldn't quite get there. It's only a 3-yard gain. 2nd down, 7 from the Steeler 14. Schrader again out in the flat. Pass complete to the 10-yard line to Don Warren, the tight end. 4 more yards. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the first down. Dwayne Woodruff made the tackle.
This is where a defense has to have a lot of discipline. They've got to come up and punish the receivers on these kind of plays. Short routes to Didier this time, Clark the play before that. It's just an out pattern into flat. Now you've got to converge and gang tackle. You see Woodruff cutting him down low and bringing him down, and Donnie Shell coming up over the top.
Doesn't that drive a linebacker and cornerback nuts, Jack? Because there's really nothing you can do about 3-4-yard passes like that.
You really don't have any time to react. What you got to do is just continue with punishing receivers, and maybe in the 3rd and 4th quarter they may start popping that football loose.
And the Steelers will use a timeout. You saw the confusion on the substitution, forcing Pittsburgh to call a timeout. 7:13 to play in the first half. We've got a timeout. With the score, the Steelers 17, the Redskins 7. We'll be back in just a moment.
What would you think of a new Pennsylvania lottery game in which you could miss 4 numbers and still win the jackpot? Sound like fun? It's Super 7 from the Pennsylvania Lottery. The jackpot is great, and so is the...
No matter what the problem is, the solution's in the GTE Yellow Pages.
We've got some Steeler fans here at RFK Stadium. Not a great deal, but there have been some Steeler fans who made the trip down here.
And it's a tough ticket to get down here in Washington. They're sold out for years to come down here. They love the Redskins, and coming to see the Redskins play is a real event down here in the Washington area.
Joe Gibbs in his 6th year as head coach of the Redskins. Washington last week lost to the Patriots 18-7. Next week they will play at Tampa Bay, and then they have a home exhibition game against the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, next week the Steelers will be in Dallas, and I would imagine that some of the defenders will have a chance to bump helmets with Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker and Tony Dorsett in the same backfield. That should be help that running game of the Dallas Cowboys, was really lacking last year because they relied so much on Tony Dorsett, but with a $1 million man in there with Herschel Walker, they should be a well-balanced offense this year.
How would you feel, Jack, seriously, if they brought in an all-star linebacker making twice as much as you? Do you think Dorsett's got a beef?
I think most players feel you try to get as much money as you can. Football is a short-lived career, and you wish most guys, it's a different situation right now with Walker coming out of the USFL, so I think most players feel that you can get as much money as you can.
Steelers lined up in a goal line defense, 3rd and 3. Rodgers powering very close to the first down. It wasn't much there, but George Rodgers is a big back. Mark Catano made the tackle for the Steelers. We'll see where the spot of the ball. He had to get around the 7.
There's no secret what they're trying to do. They're just straight ahead blocking right behind Joe Jacoby, that 300-pound offensive tackle, and Rogers 230 pounds.
Well, that answers all questions.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is offside. They're on goal line situation, you're trying to crowd the football so much and get penetration. A lot of times you might line up offsides.
Well, that gives the Redskins the automatic first down. What the argument could be here. Steelers are offside. It's an automatic first down. It'll be first and goal for the Redskins at the Pittsburgh 5-yard line. Redskins, one of the teams that signals in plays via the hand signals from the bench. Jack, that wasn't really in vogue when you were playing. Did guys ever try to read those signals?
No, you try to concentrate what you're trying to do on the field. You try to catch a signal or whatever. You lose your concentration and not making the play.
First and goal from the 5. Rogers driving inside. David Little, the first man there to meet him. Rogers, who played the entire first half last week, getting a pretty good workout tonight.
Here's Dennis Winston at the top of the screen. He's just going to the football. He has no one responsibility at all. He's coming right to the football, helping clean up. And I'll tell you, he just put his helmet right in the back of George Rogers, and I'm sure George Rogers turned around and find out who was that defender.
Second and goal. The gain is a yard from the 4-yard line.
Some players have a knack. Dennis Winston has a knack for goal line and short yards, making a big hit.
Rogers, a couple to 2. It'll be third down and goal. Gary Dunn, Mike Merriweather, everyone closing in. Kent Warnock also on the play. Third down and goal, just outside the 2-yard line.
And on the bottom of the play again, Dennis Winston. It's very tough right now for Washington to run the football. And Pittsburgh's doing a good job of just coming off the football. This is no secret. Nothing fancy right now. Not trying to trick anybody. You're just trying to come off the football as hard as you can. They've got their big people in there.
I'd have to look for Schrader to look for either Didier or Warren here on a rollout of some sort. Rogers again. And he stopped again. The fans here in Washington do not like the play calling by the Redskins. I don't blame them. It is fourth down and goal. Rogers no gain. Dirt Winston and Gerald Williams.
The defensive linemen do a good job of keeping Dennis Winston clean. Nobody gets a good block on Dennis Winston. He's freed up. You see David Little and Dennis Winston, but the defensive lineman really set it up for the linebackers to make the play.
Williams did a great job. He avoided the block and just ran laterally down the line of scrimmage.
All the defensive linemen are trying to get penetration, and the linebackers and the defensive back and strong safety are cleaning up on the tackles.
Cox gets another chance at exactly the same distance field goal. This time, he's got it. But a good job by the Steeler defense after a good punt return. The Steelers hold them to a field goal. 4:34 to play in the half. The Steelers 17, the Redskins 10. And we'll be back in just a moment. All right, 2 weeks from tomorrow night, the Steelers 86 telecast will come to you from the Meadowlands in New Jersey as the Steelers meet the New York Giants. That'll be, of course, their last preseason game. That's Saturday, August the 30th at 8 p.m. from the Meadowlands in New Jersey. The Steelers take on the Giants here on the Steelers 86 network. Steelers playing very well, Jack.
Defense is playing outstanding ball here. Even though they had a good punt return on the play by Jenkins, the Steeler defense held them to a field goal and stopped them on a drive before that without any points at all. And that's the Redskin offense that you'll see all season long with Schrader and company and Rogers. And they really stuffed Rogers on the goal line. Either Washington is trying to work on their short yardage offense with the running game, or the play selection leaves a lot to be desired there inside the 5-yard line.
Well, there's Errol Tucker, a 97-yard touchdown return on the kickoff. This is Jim Asmus, one of the 3 kickers the Redskins have in camp. They're going to kick back to Tucker. It's high. Tucker at the 2. Out to the 20. Nothing doing that time. Good coverage and penetration. Walton again in on the hit for the Redskins. He had up there from Stuart Anderson, a backup linebacker. The Redskins keep the ball. 5 plays, only gained 14 yards. Good goal line stand by the Steelers. Cox with a 20-yard field goal will make that. Add the 10 in the end zone. So 4:25 to go in the first half. The Steelers with the 17-10 lead. They trail only once. That was at 7-3. Ehrenberg and Reeder in the backfield behind Mark Malone. Malone looking deep, got a man open, Sweeney, and he's caught from behind at the 25-yard line. Calvin Sweeney beat Vernon Dean again. 55 yards.
First down was just a play action pass. You see Malone right now faking a weak side play to Reeder. He pulls the ball back out, and all Calvin Sweeney is doing is running a streak pattern down the field. You see Dean again, the ball is right there on the money, and Malone is showing a good touch today. We got Calvin one-on-one right now. Dean, all he's doing is playing off the receiver, no fake at all. He just outruns Vernon Dean, and Calvin Sweeney is sure making a big bid to make this football team.
Tell you what, Vernon Dean's got singe marks on his uniform. Ehrenberg, nothing. They have lost a yard. Sweeney now 3 receptions tonight, 99 yards and a touchdown catch. That one for 28. Steve Hamilton and Neil Olkowitz made the stop on Rich Ehrenberg. And again, the Steelers negative rushing yardage tonight.
Well, Randy Rasmussen was trying to run that trap play, the guard trapping one of the defensive linemen, and I'll tell you one thing, Steve Hamilton really decked him right around the 29-yard line, and then Ehrenberg goes down.
Mark Malone, 6 out of 10, 130 yards and a touchdown. Second down, a bit more than 10 from the Redskin 25. Malone out in the flat, incomplete for Rodney Carter. Carter turned around, could not hang on to it, should have been caught. Cherry on the coverage. It'll be third down and 10. 2:55 to play in the first half.
Well, when a wide receiver beats a defensive back so often, you see Raphael Cherry right here, the safety, was trying to help out on the long play to Calvin Sweeney. But when you beat a guy like that, you have a lot of confidence going out there right now, because that cornerback is all alone in man coverage, and Calvin Sweeney is very confident he can handle him.
Third down. 11 yards. Ehrenberg wing left. Pete Rostowski is in there at left tackle. Mark Benning at right tackle. Malone flushed out. He throws on the run, and he throws it away intentionally. He was looking there for Ouija Thompson, but I think he really wanted to get it away, Jack, and save the field goal.
In that situation, Mark Malone's a pretty smart-headed quarterback. Does not want to take the loss in that situation. You want to give Gary Anderson a chance to put some more points on the board, because he's been automatic all preseason and kicking last year, so you get a chance to put that kind of points on the board. You sure don't want to take that loss.
Gary Anderson 1 for 1 tonight at a 39-yarder. This one will be a 44-yard field goal. Gary is 3 out of 4 in field goals this preseason. Campbell to hold, no. Anderson missed it badly wide to the left. So the big bomb to Calvin Sweeney of 55 yards is not able to help the Steelers as Anderson misses, and the Redskins will take over first down and 10 with 2:42 to play in the first half.
He may not have gotten any points out of his stand, but all of a sudden on the next play you see double rotation, meaning 2 people. Showed a field goal right here. Gary Anderson put the kiss of death on him, saying he's almost automatic from here. He just out and out hooks the ball left. He had enough leg to it. He's got a strong leg. Field goal. I mean, the soccer-style kickers usually have a tendency sometimes when they do miss them, they hook the ball to their left.
You see Bubby Brister there, number 6. Brister will play the third quarter for the Steelers at quarterback tonight. Schrader flushed out of there. Coors after him. Schrader on the go and runs out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Good pressure by the Steelers, but Schrader had the presence to get out and pick up some yardage and get out of bounds.
Bob Coors was on the line of scrimmage faking a blitz, and he came around, ran a game meeting with one of the defensive linemen, went first, and he came underneath the defensive lineman, came from the other side of the field, and the secondary did a good job of covering downfield, and finally Coors and company flushed him out of the pocket.
Well, the guy is very interesting to me, Jack, is number 97. There you see him, Kent Warnock, the left defensive end. Had a pretty decent idea of what he was doing last week. He has missed most of training camp. Big 6'7" player from Canada. Calgary. Rogers finds a hole, got a first down across the 40, still driving out to the 42 and the 43-yard line. George Rogers showed you what a big league running back is all about. Williams and Coors eventually make the tackle.
And And this is the same play that John Riggins has run for so many years. You see Rogers carrying the football, Joe Jacoby and company out in front. They're pulling from the opposite side of the field, and Rogers takes the ball, and it takes 2 or 3 people, Williams and Coors, to bring down Rogers, 230 pounds.
This is the rookie, Ken Warnock.
You see May right now, he's just shielding him off from the outside, and that's when usually it's Russ Grimm and Joe Jacoby. Grimm's out of the game because he's hurt right now. Those are the 2 people pulling around in front of George Rogers.
We have reached the 2-minute warning, and there's a timeout with the score. The Steelers 17, the Redskins 10. We'll be back in just a moment. We're at the 2-minute warning. The Steelers leading the Redskins by a touchdown. Washington at their own 43 with a first down and 10. That is Ken Warnock, 6'7", 270 pounds, from the University of Calgary, a #1 draft choice of the CFL, but he wanted to try it, Jack, in the big time. Already got a nickname.
That's right. I think the first day he came back after the injury, he went on with the offensive lineman in their individual drills and just clubbed one of the offensive linemen with his arm and clubbed him and knocked him down. So all the defensive linemen, and Gary Dunn included, nicknamed him Canadian Club.
Those guys are very familiar with that. All right, coming up at halftime, we'll be talking to Myron Cope. Actually, Myron Cope will be talking to us. That's usually the way it works. Lynn Cullen looks at what used to be called the Duke. And Jack Ham remembers a guy who plays a very important part in Steeler history. Mike Kruzek, the subject of Jack Ham Remembers. The Redskins will go to their 2-minute drill now. Steelers go with a 4-man front. Schrader over the middle, and it was caught up at midfield and into Steeler territory at the 49-yard line. Just that little pop over the middle of the tight end. Anthony Henton makes the tackle on Clint Didier. It is an 8-yard gain, 2nd down and 2. The Redskins with the clock running, 1:40 to play in the half.
Let's see how Pittsburgh plays this 2-minute. Last week against the Bears, Tom Zek went right down the field and scored. We'll see how they fare against the Redskins.
Very good point. They did give up a touchdown right before the half. The Redskins do have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Schrader's rush. He throws on the run, and it is caught deep downfield by Art Monk. He has a great knack for getting open. Chris Sheffield eventually made the tackle, but give Schrader credit for making a throw with a defender in his face.
I say Art Monk is just limping a little bit. Limping, he's probably now runs about a 9.200. You see Schrader dropping back. He starts to get a little bit of pressure from Darrell Sims from the backside, releases the football, and this is a big league receiver because Art Monk is not afraid to come across that middle, made a few people miss. He's caught a lot of passes for the last couple of years for the Redskins, and he is a type of receiver who will catch the in route or the out route or the deep one.
Monk's 4th reception, 109 yards, and had the touchdown catch over Harvey Clayton of 67 yards. Well, it was good to see Darrell Sims getting some penetration.
That time, Joe Jacoby, he beat Joe Jacoby. He all-pro tackle for the Redskins and got some pressure up the field. But when Schrader is back in the pocket, Art Monk is such a valuable receiver to him because when he looks downfield, when he gets any pressure, he can pick out that big target. Monk's about 6'4" and an outstanding receiver. Getting work done there. Again, the Redskins have signed 8 USFL players, but only 1 may play tonight. The NFL has passed a deal for training camp, Jack, that they do not USFL players. They do not count against your roster. Of course, the teams must be down to 60 by next Tuesday, unless they play in a game. If they play in a game, then they count against your roster. The Steelers, by the way, have some 28 men to cut by next Tuesday, barring injury, of course. 1st and 10. Schrader over the middle. It is intercepted. Eric Williams at the 25 and out to the 26. Frankly, a lucky break for the Steelers. The pass bouncing off the Washington receiver right into the hands of Eric Williams, his 2nd interception of the preseason. And the Redskins have found something in that secondary. The Steelers are running so many in routes. We saw Monk the play before that. Now you see Schrader again looking right down the middle. This time Clark coming across the middle. He's wide open. The ball comes right off his shoulder pads. You can hear it up here. And I'll tell you, Eric Williams makes a good reaction and catches the football and comes up with the interception. You're talking about things that go bump in the night. How about Gary Clark's hands? He's usually a pretty sure-handed receiver. Yep. Schrader got a good protection. Loves throwing right down the middle. This time he just went for the interception. Well, the Steelers have 1:08 to play in the first half. 2 timeouts remaining. Dan Reeder. Nice 5-yard drive by Reeder out to the 31-yard line.
We're under a minute to play. There's Eric Williams out of North Carolina State. Did not play his first year, was injured, came back, won the starting job, and has been the Steelers' starting safety ever since, free safety.
And really, it's not Eric Williams' play to make that play on Clark. You got to have either a linebacker or another defensive back underneath that to make that ball come up over the top. Schrader just drilled the ball right to Clark, and Eric Williams is coming up over the top. You need some underneath help to get in the line of flight of the football.
Clock down to 30 seconds to play in the half. Second down and 5. Aaron Bird, first down, stays inbounds out to the 40. 22 seconds. Let's see if the Steelers use a timeout. It appears as though they will not. There's Art Monk, got a wrap on that knee. Ken Coffey made the tackle on Aaron Bird. So the Steelers content to take that 17-10 lead into the locker room at halftime. And we're going to see rookie Bubby Brister, or we're expected to see Brister, when we begin the second half of play. Stay tuned for our halftime show. I think you're going to enjoy it. We've reached the end of the first half. The score, the Steelers 17, the Washington Redskins 10.
The Pittsburgh Steelers halftime show is brought to you by Lee, the brand that fits. By Bell of Pennsylvania. Whenever you need us, we'll be there. By your independent McCulloch dealer, who's cutting prices on the ProMac 440 and the powerful Double Eagle 50. And by Exxon. Exxon gasolines with XCL12. Quality you can count on.
Now the Steelers leading the Redskins at halftime at RFK 17-10. Stan Savran along with Jack Ham bringing you tonight's game. Jack, Mark Malone, Calvin Sweeney, nice combination, and twice the Steelers stopped Redskin drives inside the 10-yard line.
I think Mark Malone is a lot more relaxed. The offensive lineman give him a lot more time to throw the ball, and Calvin Sweeney is working himself free, so I think the offense has played well. Defense turns around and stops them inside the 5-yard line without a score and then a field goal. I think it's a lot different team this week compared to the game last week against the Bears.
Well, you can't throw it or catch it unless you have one. Lynn Cullen will explain when we return. This is the Steelers 86 Network. There are several axioms that make the rounds in pro football. You can't win if you don't run the football. You can't win if you can't pass the football. Fact of the matter is you can't even play if you don't have a football. And as Lynn Cullen points out, if she doesn't get her way, she'll take her ball and go home.
Yeah, I figured it's about time we took time to talk football for a change. I mean, football, this thing right here, which is not, by the way, a pigskin, not in a pig's eye. This is an all-beef, kosher, all-American NFL official football, which can come from just one place. One little plant in the middle of one little town in the middle of nowhere. Ada, Ohio. You are looking at the fastest line in football. Maybe not the fastest off the ball, but definitely the fastest on the ball. They are as quick-paced, as straight-laced, as game-faced a team as any in pro football. Since 1941, every single NFL football ever placed on the scrimmage line has first come down this assembly line at the Wilson Sporting Goods plant in Ada, Ohio. It's a friendly place where plant manager Tom Elkin spends his time quietly poring over the daily hide and leather report, while his workers are hell-bent for leather in the next room.
They believe in hard work. They're mostly farm families. They come to town, they make their footballs, they go home and run their farms.
So they sow seeds, and so they sow footballs, and only the cream of the crop makes the cut and gets to go to the NFL.
The NFL takes about 18,000 footballs a year. We make 10 to 12 to 15 times that many NFL footballs. So only just the top 10% or so make it to the NFL.
It has to be a perfect ball in every way. This one is a good ball. It's a very good ball.
It's a lot of pressure for a ball to bear, to have to be top scale, to have to measure up, to finally be the pride of Ada, and the bane of the ball player.
Now, I wouldn't say this. Lynn Cullen would say this if she were here, but I'm sure she had a ball making that piece. That's exactly what she would say. I know she would. And with us now is Myron Cope, joining us at halftime. Myron made one of the great runs in history. The press box for radio is about 20 miles from here. You made it in time.
Oh, boy. My run downstairs was better than Errol Tucker's kickoff return.
By the way, stand up. Oh, you are. I'm sorry. I had to get that in. Your impressions of the first half?
Well, the Steelers, of course, look a lot better than they did last week against the Bears. No question about that. One of the things, though, I would like to point out is that John Rienstra, playing on the kickoff return teams tonight, John Rienstra gets half of Errol Tucker's big kickoff return. Because I had my glasses on Rienstra. The ball's kicked off. Rienstra peels back to the 30-yard line. He takes on one of the wash skins. He goes, bam! And the skin stops, and he goes, bam again. Well, by the time he's giving him the second bam, here comes Tucker up the right side. That guy might have peeled over there, stopped Tucker, and it wouldn't have had no 97-yard touchdown return. So give Rienstra 3 points on the 6.
Yeah, we had it on the replay. It was Raphael Cherry, and along with Brown and Reeder, he threw a key block.
Of course, the guy Rienstra blocked it real good, was giving up about 100 pounds to him.
Yeah, we pointed that out, too, at about 10 feet, too.
I think special teams also, you can't discount Russell Holmes. Again, on special teams, made a key...
forced a fumble.
Forced a fumble. He's been doing it week in and week out now, the last 2 weeks in a row. He's trying to make his club just on special teams.
Yeah, he is a long shot. In fact, he may be up against it more than he was last year when he was a late cut. Because the linebacking material is a good bit better this year that they have in training camp than was the case last year. Right. But, yeah, he's hanging tough. Too bad that punt return of the Skins happened. I mean, Harry's short punt, those are tough to cover, though, are they not?
Oh, they had the tackle in sight, just let the guy go. You know, a couple of things are positive. Certainly Malone and Sweeney, but the other side of that, Myron, the running game. I think that they're either 0 or minus rushing yardage.
Yeah, they're not getting that running game going. But here again, you know, you've got backs coming on and off the field, different sets of backs. You don't have your first stringers in there, although Walter played more than we thought he would. And I don't know, of course, it all starts in the front line, and the offensive line does it not. So the sooner they can get Mr. Rienstra into playing condition, the better.
Well, Jack and I were talking, I think you would agree. One of the things that we both like was the fact that twice the Steelers stopped the Redskins inside the 10, forced them to go for field goals.
Yeah, they played some tough defense down there. And they made the Skins work for every yard of that drive, 77 yards, 14 plays. So the defense, I think maybe they felt a little bit ashamed of themselves after last week. Darrell Sims has picked up a little bit, has he not?
Yes, indeed he has. And again, overall, a much better performance tonight than last week.
No question about it. Now the big... the fascinating thing, here comes the Bubby in the third quarter. Yeah, I gotta love it. Here comes the Bubby.
Here comes Jack Ham Remembers. We'll be back to take a look at Mike Kruzek. Jack Ham Remembers. This is the Steelers 86 Network.
Such a sensation in his blue jeans. Temptation, if you know what I mean. Making me crazy till I'm just about gone. Is it what he's got going or what he's got on? The lovely sensation. The brand that fits.
Jeans are available at Silverman's.
It's here. A fast start, quick response, and smooth performance.
Running smooth and silent. Exxon.
Introducing new Exxon Extra Premium. Its high-octane power formula with detergent additive XCL12 cleans fuel injectors, helps silence knocks, and keeps you running smooth.
Running with the tiger. Exxon. Would you care to attend the dance with me? Julie, this is Steve. Steven. Julie, wanna go to the dance? Steve, in biology. You will? Sure.
Whenever you need us, we'll be there.
Remember this guy? Mike Kruzek was a reserve quarterback in 1976 until Terry Bradshaw did this memorable dance with Joe Turkey Jones of Cleveland. Bradshaw was out, and suddenly Mike Kruzek became a starting quarterback.
I just don't think I knew enough about the game to be frightened or afraid of what was going to happen. I shared time with Terry game preparation during the week because there was only 2 of us at the time. We only kept 2 quarterbacks that year versus 3 the years before with Coach Knoll's teams. And so I was prepared to go in.
Kruzek was inexperienced, and Chuck Knoll devised a game plan that kept the pressure off the quarterback and kept it on the running game and the defense. You probably remember the results. 1,000-yard seasons for both Franco and Rocky, 5 shutouts for the defense, and 9 wins in a row. But not much passing by Mike Kruzek.
I consider myself to be kind of an unselfish ball player. I think that's the only way you can be. The bottom line is winning, and that's what I wanted to do. So it didn't bother me just to throw the ball 16, 17 times a ball game as long as we won.
Since retiring from football in 1980, Mike has been coaching, and he is now the offensive coordinator at the University of Central Florida, a Division II school in Orlando that will soon be making the jump to 1AA. It will be a big jump, but then Mike Kruzek has had some experience in that area.
The first time you went underneath the center and you saw Dwight White, Ernie Holmes, Joe Green, and L.C. Greenwood up in front of you, what did that feel like for a rookie quarterback?
Well, that wasn't actually the first time I ever saw them. We played the Steelers in the College All-Star game, and I started that football game. So we got the kickoff in that game, and the first play we break the huddle and come out, and that's when I realized who we were playing against. So I'm looking down the line, everything seemed to go in slow motion, and I see Joe and Ernie and Dwight and L.C. and looking at the defense, and my eyes fixed on Lambert in the middle. And in those days, he was real young. He used to move his feet a lot and chop his feet, and then he growled and opened his mouth, and there was no teeth in his mouth, and I almost fumbled the snap. This is going to be a long game, but as it turned out, I got hurt the 7th play, got lucked out, and missed the rest of the ball game.
Jack, that 9-game stretch, it was the greatest amount of defense I've ever seen played. Some people feel that was the best Steeler team, even though it didn't win a Super Bowl.
I think you're exactly right. I think it's people like Mike Kruzek, because he came in and we had so many backup people who came in, did such a good job, not only contributing, but helping us win football games. And that's why I think that might have been the best football team I ever played on.
Well, that 9-game stretch was unbelievable. We'll be back with a second-half kickoff in just a moment.
Something about the night when the stars come out to play. The feeling, it's so right. It's my favorite time of the day. So give me the night, give me the night, give me a icy light. Oh, give me the night, give me the night, give me an icy light. Clear, refreshing, and bright. The choice that's always right. So give me the night, give me the night, give me an icy light.
He was born at the turn of the century and grew up on Pittsburgh's North Side. He went on to become perhaps the greatest sportsman in the history of the game, Art Rooney. Not just the founder of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but their father, not just admired, but loved. A great human being whose entire life has been one great performance. And we salute him. Pittsburgh National. We're a bank that believes in performance.
The Steelers leading the Redskins 17-10 at halftime at RFK Stadium. And the Steelers scored on big plays. One on special teams, one on offense. Here is Errol Tucker, the rookie from Utah.
What you got to do on a kickoff return is make your decision at top speed. You see Earl Tucker coming through. He sees the opening, and he just explodes through and gets good blocks, like Myron said, from John Rienstra. And then when he breaks to the outside, it's a foot race now, and Earl Tucker has outstanding speed, and nobody's going to catch him down the sidelines.
Not even the kicker, Jim Asmus. So Tucker, who broke a 30-yarder last week, a 97-yard touchdown. And this is the touchdown pass, 28 yards, Mark Malone to Calvin Sweeney.
Calvin Sweeney at halftime feels he's got Vernon Dean in his hip pocket. This is a Q route or a flag route. He takes it back to the outside. He beats Vernon Dean by a step or two, and then he adjusts on the football. It's a little bit underthrown. He turns back, catches the ball, and takes it in for the score.
You know, just a word about Calvin Sweeney. He's one of those guys that everyone seems to think is going to get cut year after year, traded year after year. He's doing a heck of a job. He's the leading receiver in preseason.
I think Calvin realizes each year he's got to come in and make the ball club. He's a professional out here. He's been the backup wide receiver for a number of years. He started with when Bradshaw played his last year, was our leading receiver, so he knows how to get the job done. He knows how to beat defensive backs, especially an aggressive one like Vernon Dean.
Well, you see the statistics weigh heavily in favor of the Redskins, especially time of possession. But you remember the Redskins had a 10-minute drive and came away empty when Cox missed a 20-yard field goal. The Steelers, 13 yards rushing. Remember, 10 of those came on the last 2 plays of the half when they were running out the clock. There is Errol Tucker, all 5 feet, 8 of them. And I'm stretching him, I think, by about an inch. Kick comes to the near sideline. Tucker takes it at the 4. Breaks a couple tackles, makes a couple moves. He gets out near the 25-yard line. Jack, when a kickoff comes to one side, it kind of disrupts all the timing on your return.
Well, especially when you have a middle return and he gets the ball right at the sideline. I think Earl Tucker was very close to stepping out of bounds. He had a decision to make whether to let the ball go and maybe go out of bounds. He got the ball right at the sideline, turned it back, and then he got exactly what he could get. He didn't try to belly out and lose yardage. He took it upfield and got the ball to the 24-yard line.
Here is our first look at Walter Bubby Brister at quarterback, number 6. Carter and Brown in the backfield. This is Rodney Carter. Gets 3 to the 28-yard line over right guard to bring up 2nd down and 7.
This is a perfect game for Bubby Brister to come in right now. It's a 4-3 defense. We said the Redskins play that style of defense. There's not a lot of audibling at the line of scrimmage for the running game, so he can call the plays in the huddle with a lot of confidence, knowing he'll call them at the line of scrimmage as well.
John Reenstra is in at left guard. Big number 79, lined up next to Mike Webster. We'll keep an eye on him. 2nd down and 7. Ehrenberg comes in for Carter, and Bubby with his first pass. He throws, and it is caught. Ehrenberg at the 38-yard line and a 1st down. Alvin Walton and Monty Coleman make the tackle. So 15 years from now, when Brister's inducted into the Hall of Fame, the trivia will, who was his first pass complete to?
You see Bobby just stepping up in the pocket, starting to get a little bit of pressure. But Rich Ehrenberg knows how to get open. He takes the ball to the 39-yard line, and then he gets the yardage. Here's John Reenstra, one-on-one blocking pass protection. He doesn't really need any help from Mike Webster. He just buries the defensive lineman Hamill.
1st down and 10. The Steelers outside their own 38. Gordon Brown hit in the backfield. Olkowitz has him. Throws him down for a loss. Good penetration that time by Neil Olkowitz.
Pittsburgh tried to come back to the same play that Mark Malone used for play action pass to the big play to Calvin Sweeney. It was a play action. It's a weak side trap. This time they gave the ball to Gordon Brown so he could get some yardage on the outside. Was not able to do it because a defensive lineman from the Redskins just come off the football.
Is that a matter of missing a straight block, or did someone miss the trap block?
It's just a matter of, it's a defense usually have a tough time on a misdirection play trying to get a positive gain out. 2nd and 10. Brister throws, and it is complete. Out on the left flat. Again, it is Ehrenberg out across the 40 to the 42. Monty Coleman on the coverage makes the tackle. It's a gain of 4. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6. So Bubby is 2 for 2. And a valuable player that Bubby's going to have in that backfield is going to be Rich Ehrenberg. He's a good possession receiver. He spells Walter Abercrombie when he gets tired or gets banged up. And on 3rd down, they love to go to him because he runs an excellent route out of the backfield.
There's some conversation between Mike Webster and the official. I don't know if it's over the spot of the ball. Legal use of hands against Wilburn, Barry Wilburn, the cornerback of the Redskins. So on the play, the Steelers get an automatic 1st down on the illegal use of hands penalty. Capozzo The rookie from Illinois is in the ball game at tight end. There he is, number 81.
And they want to get a long look at him. He's hurt last week, could not play. They think he's going to be a good tight end. They're going to need some work this evening.
Sweeney left, Thompson right, 1st and 10. Bubby throwing deep, and it is almost intercepted. The pass intended for Sweeney, but Barry Wilburn is right there. Wilburn, second-year man out of Ole Miss with excellent coverage.
Well, I think Bubby will learn they're playing a deep zone, and all Wilburn is doing is flying out of there and taking deep 1/3 of the field. You don't try to go deep in this kind of situation. Wilburn is right there. Good position for the defensive back. Sees the ball coming, and we'll take a look at Big John Reenstra again. You see him blocking on man right now at the line of scrimmage. It's on Hamill and just controls him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get to Bubby Bristol.
Did a good job. 2nd down and 10.
Paying him a ton of money. He should.
Gordon Brown, nice hole up the middle, makes a nice cut, and gets out to the 50-yard line for a gain of about 7. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Mel Kaufman made the tackle for the Redskins. Gordon Brown gets up limping. Rookie free agent from Tulsa. 3rd down and 3. Steelers 2 out of 6 on 3rd down conversion.
Those kind of limps usually come about in the last preseason game with about a minute or 2 left. That's when the injury reserve list kind of comes out. These mysterious injuries that occur.
Hit him with a baseball bat behind the dorm at Latrobe. Put him on injured reserve. Brister's short drop fires. Got his man, Rodney Carter. 1st down. And he dropped it on the hit. A good, solid hit by Tim Morrison. And Carter is down. Speaking of injury, Morrison, rookie free agent out of North Carolina, really belted Carter when he had the 1st down and forced him to drop the ball.
Well, that's a case of a defensive back, Morrison, seeing the ball throwing, seeing Carter turn back to the outside, and just arrived at the same time the football did when Carter is stretching out trying to catch the ball.
11:27 to play in the 3rd quarter. We've got a timeout. The Steelers lead the Redskins 17-10. We'll be back in just a moment.
Now, McDonald's introduces something. McDonald's introduces new garden salad. Toss me a salad, a crisp new taste. Toss it for me fresh all day. New McDonald's garden salad. This taste goes any place. It's a good time for the great taste. What's McDonald's?
Want to know how busy Giant Eagle is getting? Ask me. They buy all my cabbage, all my tomatoes, and everything else. So now I have to plant more acres and send more trucks to Giant Eagle than ever before. Seems so many are switching to Giant Eagle, the fresh stuff I send in the morning is sold in the afternoon. So I have to send more. There really is only one way to keep up. Grow faster!
Giant Eagle, still changing the way you shop for food.
Rodney Carter appeared to be all right, just a little woozy. Took a tough hit from Tim Morrison. Here's how it happened.
You see Bubby Brister dropping back, just trying to look at Carter downfield. He reads the coverage and delivers the ball, but Carter is in a very vulnerable position right now. He's going, he's stretched out. And here comes Morrison. As soon as the ball gets there, he delivers a shot. It's high, right around his ribs. He kind of jogged off the field. I think Carter was all right, but he took a hit, a tough hit from Morrison.
In the punt for the Steelers is rookie free agent Jeff Williams of Slippery Rock.
Looks like a shoe from the Johnny Unitas era out there.
No high tops for Jeff Williams. He punts barefooted. Newsom punted once in the 1st half, only for 36 yards. Jenkins back deep. Jeff Williams' first punt as a Steeler. Pretty short. Going to roll here, though. Williams inside the 5. The Steelers knock it out over the goal line and through the end zone. Hustling down on the play again was Russell Holmes. He tried to get there, but batted it, was not able to control it, and so the touchback, it goes as a 50-yard punt for Williams.
And Chuck Noll will rerun this play time and time again when they get back and watch special teams. When they get the ball inside the 10-yard line, the first guy down is supposed to try to bat the ball back, stop it from going into the end zone. They're unable to do it. Holmes was down there trying to do it on the play, and it took a kick off probably one of the Pittsburgh players and went into the end zone.
Well, the Redskins are continuing to go with Jay Schrader. The word was that they would go with Babe Laufenberg. in the third quarter, but they're going to go with Schrader. Joe Phillips in motion, number 80. Over the middle, caught at the 35-yard line. Phillips still on his feet. Jeff Bostic, the center, number 53, actually knocked him down. Well, the gain is out to the 37 and a 17-yard gain. Greg Carr made the tackle for the Steelers.
What makes that play successful is that you see the play action right now. The Rodgers holds the linebackers for a second. You see Cam Jacobs running with the receiver, does not get underneath the route. The ball's thrown on the line. You see Phillips down here trying to break a few tackles and get some extra yards.
17-yard gain for the Redskins. Inside handoff on the counter play, and the Steelers are right there. Darrell Sims and Bob Coors breaking through, destroyed the play immediately as they tried to go to Terry Orr, a tight end, on the counter.
Where the whole team is playing much better now. Darrell Sims just coming off the ball, gets penetration. You see the two pulling linemen right there. He stuffs the lineman, and also Hinton on the play also gets penetration in the backfield. That play had no chance of working at all. There's Darrell Sims.
Well, that's got to make him feel good. Good play by Sims. This is Anthony Hinton.
Here's Anthony Hinton taking on that's the way you take on a trap. The guy, the H-back, is trying to trap Hinton outside. He takes him on right at the line of scrimmage, does not give any ground at all.
Anthony Jones, a tight end, got bent over backwards by Hinton. Second down, out in the flat. The pass is complete out to the 40 and across to the 41-yard line. That is Terry Orr, first-year man out of Texas. Chris Sheffield and Hinton make the tackle. Orr was a running back at Texas, but he's 6'3", 240 pounds, and they turned him into an H-back. Well, Schrader brings him up. He'll have a third down and 6. 16 out of 22. He's thrown for over 200 yards. The touchdown pass to Monk. The interception by Eric Williams. 3rd and 6.
And here we have Hinton and Merriweather on the same side of the field again. It's not the 31. It's a variation of it, though.
Schrader flushed out of there. Throws on the run, and it is caught for a first down in Steeler territory by Joe Phillips. And Phillips is knocked out of bounds near the 45-yard line. Hinton came over to knock him down, but Schrader is a guy, Jack, that throws very well on the run.
That's what Redskin offensive style. They love throwing, rolling out to his right. You see him right now turning back and just scrambling to his right. He can easily throw the football downfield. Now receivers are trying to work themselves free. There's Williams coming back to Schrader like a good receiver should, and then trying to get some extra yards. Here's Hinton. He has the H-back man-to-man. You see him running back and forth because the H-back is in motion. Here's Orr going to the outside, then turning it back up. Hinton got to stay with him right there. Does a pretty good job of man-to-man coverage.
That's the Steeler 44. Rodgers. Nice hole. 30. 20. 10. And down at the Steeler 10-yard line. George Rodgers finally brought down by Mike Merriweather.
George Rodgers came to camp this year with a lot of determination, and they wanted to feature him this week. They ran him about 10 times last week against the Patriots. This time it's just a straight-ahead play, getting off to Rodgers right up the middle in front of Joe Jacoby again. And here you see Williams downfield, not throwing a block, but just trying to wall people off. And Rodgers has outstanding speed. He's a big man to bring down for Eric Williams and all the other defensive backs.
34-yard gain for Rodgers. He now has 60 yards on the evening, 13 carries. First and goal for the Redskins, just out, well, on the Steeler 10. Rodgers again. Found a nice hole down to the 6-yard line. Gerald Williams made the tackle. Help in there from Darrell Sims as well. The Redskins can get a first down. It is not second and goal. They can get a first down inside the 1. Second down and 6.
What happened to the Redskins before when they brought the ball down inside the Pittsburgh 10-yard line, could not get any points at all. I would not be surprised if Schrader comes out throwing the football right here. It's very tough to get those yards now when you're inside the 10-yard line.
Well, the Steelers have stopped them twice before inside the 10. Rodgers hit in the backfield and stopped for a loss of 1 yard. Again, good penetration by the Steelers to destroy the play. It'll be third down and 6 for the first down.
Anthony Hinton again did a good job at closing the play. Rogers had no place to go. They got some penetration from that time. Darrell Sims again, and Rogers just had bounced off of people because the offensive lineman got thrown right back into his lap.
Tried to pick his way and did well to get near the line of scrimmage. Cam Jenkins eventually on the tackle. 3rd down and 6 for the first down, about 6.5 for the touchdown. Jenkins is in for George Rogers. Schrader throwing end zone, incomplete. Off the hands of Jenkins, could have been and should have been a touchdown. It'll be 4th down and 6.
Initially they threw a penalty flag on the field because Anthony Hinton was not sure whether to stay on the field or not, but he made 11. He came back on. You see Schrader trying to find someone open downfield.
Well,
you see Robin Cole had the cover, but Jenkins, is it Jenkins who just missed the catch?
Yep, Ken Jenkins. That should have been a touchdown. Steve Cox will attempt the field goal, 23-yarder, slight angle to the right. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He missed it again. I don't think that Steve Cox will have to wait for Tuesday's cutdown date. 5:49 to play, 3rd quarter. We've got a timeout. The score, the Steelers 17, Washington 10. And we'll be back in a moment.
Channel 4 has a new way to win in our Lottery Plus game. It's the Lottery Plus Cash Clue. Watch the 6 p.m. Action News for the Daily Clue. You can't miss it. And if your card is drawn, don't call us. We'll call you. Just say the magic words and you've doubled your money. If you're in the wheel now, you're already part of the fun. If you're not, enter today. Jot 3 digits on a postcard, your name, address, and phone number, and mail it to us. The Lottery Plus Cash Clue. A new way to win when you watch the news starting Wednesday weeknights at 7.
Smokeless in a pouch is a good idea, but the taste can be dry as a West Texas wind. Not new Renegades. They're packed with darker, richer, moister tobacco. And there's a lot more than these. So all you taste is moist, satisfying tobacco. Not the pouch. Renegades, Renegades. Bigger, moister. Renegades. With a taste that blows the others away.
Steve Cox missing 2 easy field goals. You can't see him now, but Mark Mosley is just behind or in front of the bearded gentleman. There he is, and he's trying really hard to suppress a smile. He's trying not to burst out laughing. Of course, Jim Asmus is still in camp, but Mosley last year beat off a challenge by Zendejas, although a lot of people here in the nation's capital, Jack, thought they should have kept Zendejas over Mosley.
Well, Mosley does not have the strong leg that he once had. He's still very, very accurate and kicks the same way straight up as Cox does. And they're competing for the same job, and I think he feels for Steve Cox right now. He just had a very, very bad second game.
Well, Cox now is 1 out of 4 in the preseason. Now, the one he missed last week was a 53-yarder. There's a kindly assistant coach who's laughing in his face. That's real nice. Oh, brother. And that's the special teams coach. He's laughing because now he doesn't have a decision to make.
You can be awfully cruel.
I think the assistant coach is being cruel by laughing. Well, the Steelers on the touchback, 1st and 10, their own 20. Rodney Carter back in the game. Gets outside. Drives for 7 yards to the 27-yard line. Carter, who gained 9 yards rushing last week, is stopped by Alvin Walton. Strong safety, 3rd-round draft choice out of Kansas for the Redskins. Also, Steve Hamilton on the stop.
I think Pittsburgh would like to get a long look at Rodney Carter here in the second half. He caught the ball in the first game last week against the Bears. Did not see that much of him after that, so they want to get a good look at him here in the second half against the Redskins. Ehrenberg
comes into the ball game. Reeder's the fullback as they switch to the pro set. Brister throwing, sideline pattern. It is caught by John Stallworth, and he'll get as much as he can. He is so smart out there. He just danced around for an extra 4 or 5 yards. Brister having himself a pretty good night, throwing short, picks up the first down on that play.
John Stallworth's been a crafty veteran for 13 years now. He just knows what to do on the field. He reads the defenses when he comes off the line of scrimmage, so he knows exactly what kind of break he wants to have. That time he just hooked it up, and Bubby Brister put the ball right there. Brister's got a strong arm. The thing about he had a problem in the initial week of training camp was just trying to find out about the system, trying to work. He was a week or two late because of training camp problem, and now I think he's starting to come into his own.
with the first down. Stallworth wide left, Lips wide right. Carter follows the block, but there isn't much of a block there. No gain at best. It'll be second down. And you're looking at what might be the Steeler offensive line of the future. You've got Mark Benning at right tackle, Brian Blankenship at right guard, Rienstra left tackle, Rostowski, Rienstra left guard. There's Rienstra there. Pete Rostowski left tackle. Alan Andrews, number 89, is in at tight end. Second down. Nearly 10 yards for the first down. Brisker pump fake. Throws on the run. Overthrows. Looking on the sideline for Lewis, that threw it away intentionally. That'll bring up third down. Well, Brister showed the sense. Had no one open. The pattern was broken. He threw it away.
Stan, I think people shouldn't get too down on the fact that we have not been running the football that well in the first 2 weeks. Pittsburgh has gone up against probably the toughest defensive line in football, the Bears and then the Redskins, who play the run extremely well. And I think we get down to some of the other teams in the NFL who do not play the run that well. You'll see our offensive line be able to trap and run some plays where they'll get that running game cranked up to get some balance in their offense.
Brister now 2 out of 5, 24 yards. Third down 9. Sideline pattern, and it is caught. Ehrenberg breaks through for the first down. Good job by Rich Ehrenberg to break the tackle and get the Steeler first down. Mel Kaufman hanging on for dear life, but a good job by Brister. Good out pattern to Ehrenberg.
Rich Ehrenberg, he knows how to get open. And the linebacker's covering him one-on-one. Here we see Brister dropping back, getting good protection because there was a blitz by the Redskins. He delivers the ball out. You see Cherry right now just missing the tackle. Ehrenberg controls and gets away and takes the ball downfield for the first down.
The gain is to the Redskins 43, 4:10 to play, third quarter. The Steelers leading 17-10. Brister out in the flat. Carter can't handle it. That could be a live ball. No signal from the official. Now they're going to call it an incompletion. But they were awfully late on the call. Let's take a look at John Rienstra, see what he did on the play.
The thing about playing offensive linemen is playing together. You see Mike Webster helping out initially with Rienstra. He's double teaming right now, and they're just walling the guy off. Rienstra trying to just stay with his man. A lot of times when there's not a blitzing player, Mike Webster, the all-pro center, will help out any way he can.
That was Darrell Grant trying to fight through, about 530 pounds, a Steeler offensive lineman.
Darrell Grant had no chance in that place. Mike Webster by himself, but John Rienstra and Mike Webster, they're two big football players.
Rienstra refers to Mike Webster as Mr. Webster. Does it continually. Brister. Incomplete. Good, solid hit by Kevin Williams. Flag on the play.
I think we got a holding call too, Stan, but I'll tell you one thing, 2 times now Bubby has let that ball go to receivers. One time Carter, now Ehrenberg, when they're just getting ready to get nailed by a defensive back in that secondary. He's got to get rid of the football right at the beginning of the break so they have a chance to catch the ball and protect themselves downfield.
Pete Rostowski is the man who gets called for the hold. The Redskins will accept.
You got to remember, Bubby Brister was not just playing with the backup people. He has Louis Lips and John Stallworth in there. They're trying to rotate a lot of the players. That's giving Bubby Brister a chance to have some different people to play with, some of the starters.
Second down and 20. Sideline, man wide open. It is Lips. First down. Knocked out of bounds inside the Redskin 30. Kevin Williams knocked him out of bounds, but Lips was wide open on the near side of the field.
You got to give Bubby Brister some credit right now. He's reading the defense. He has Stallworth and Lips on the same side of the field. Stallworth running the post, taking 2 people with him. That leaves Lips one-on-one. He worked himself free downfield. You see Bubby Brister looking off, looking down the middle, then turning back to the outside, and that's where he finds Louis Lips wide open on one-on-one coverage.
Jack, was he trying to look off the defender, or was Lips the secondary or tertiary receiver?
He's looking downfield initially to Stallworth. He's running the post. He's faking it to Stallworth downfield, trying to look off the receiver.
Dan Reeder driving up the middle to the 20-yard line. Big Dan Reeder out of Delaware, 240 pounds of fullback, and a good surge by the offensive line. Mel Kaufman and Alvin Walton make the tackle for Washington.
Well, Dan Reeder is just a tough, hard-nosed fullback. I mean, he's a straight-ahead type block runner. He's not going to give you a lot of move. That's a typical play. That's called like a P10, a straight-ahead play, straight-ahead blocking, and Dan Reeder just followed the blockers for good yardage.
Well, the Steelers wanted to get some sort of a drive going here. They've got one going now. Second down. Carter almost fumbles. Cuts inside. Carter down the sideline. He's knocked out of bounds near the goal line. Rodney Carter with a big gain down the sideline to the 2. Raphael Cherry knocked him out of bounds.
Rodney Carter does a good job of turning the corner right here. You see Bubby Brister handing off to Carter, taking to the outside. You see Reeder leading on the play, but you'll see an all-pro block right there by Lewis Lips on the cornerback. That enables Rodney Carter to go down almost to the goal line.
Two things, Jack. Great block by Reeder right there, but look how Carter, when he sees the hole, bang, he cuts now. You can't be dancing around out there.
And when he turns upfield, you're right, and there's no one there because Louis Lips knocks down the cornerback, and you can make a lot of yardage when your wide receiver not only catches the football, but blocks and knocks people down downfield.
Good job by Reeder and Lips and Rodney Carter. The Redskins will call a timeout. 2:28 to play in the third quarter. The Steelers leading Washington 17-10. We'll be back in just a moment.
Every day, thousands of our neighbors would go hungry if it weren't for a very special organization, the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. With the help of hundreds of volunteers, it provides food for more than 26,000 people in our community each month. For the special contributions that make this performance possible, we thank a lot of special people.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you.
Pittsburgh National. We're a bank that believes in performance.
Toss it. McDonald's introduces a new taste with turkey and ham. New McDonald's chef salad.
Toss me a salad with turkey and ham.
New McDonald's chef salad.
Toss it for me fresh all day. This meal goes any place.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
We have seen the Redskins like to run behind Joe Jacoby on short yardage. Let's see, Jack, if the Steelers want to run behind Mark Benning. They are using 3 tackles on the goal line or short yardage. In the past, as you know, it's always been an extra tight end of the ball game.
Well, Mark Benning down on the goal line. He gets very low at 300 pounds, surges straight ahead, and there's not a defensive lineman in the NFL who can stop him when he comes off the ball. He's outstanding at run blocking, and I wouldn't be surprised they try to run right over him on his play.
We are told by our ace crew in the truck, who, by the way, did wake up during the Carter run, that Greenstra threw a good block on this play. This is the right side of the line on Carter's run.
Well, you see just Mark Benning coming off right into the defensive lineman, getting some penetration on him and hanging him up for a while. That enabled Carter to turn the corner, and then you get the block by Reeder and also Louis Lips downfield, and that's a good run to the outside by Carter.
How did you rate Alan Andrews' block in there?
Well, I think he almost trying to just stalemate or get a neutral on the tight end and the linebacker. I didn't really watch him all that much. I was trying to watch Benning on the play, but I just think he got a stalemate, which is probably good enough.
The Steelers are not in the goal line offense. Thompson in motion. Dan Reeder, touchdown Steelers. From just outside the 1, Dan Reeder. There are a lot of Steeler fans here, as you can hear.
Well, I'll tell you, Stan, this drive right after the Cox missed field goal is really deflating to a team. Pittsburgh takes the ball with Bubby Brister. Here's the touchdown again. This time they go over. Here's John Reenstra just taking his man and turning him to the inside, and that enabled Reeder to turn right up the field in for the score.
I'll tell you who else did a good job in that drive. Guard Brian Blankenship, blocking very well. Gary Anderson with the extra point. 2:26 to play in the quarter. The Steelers increase their lead to 24-10, and we'll be back in a moment.
Playing ball now, playing's fun, but the best is yet to come. Now this is living out, feeling fine. Get your golden, I got mine. Yeah, I got my gang, got my beer. I see golden time.
here.
Icy Golden, brewed fresh and natural for a smooth and golden taste.
Yeah, got my gang, got my beer. Icy Golden times are here.
Through the years, we've always been there when you count on us to be there like a trusted friend. When news breaks time and again, Action News is everywhere. Look for us, we'll be there. Action News is everywhere.
All right, the Steelers' best drive of the game, the best drive of the preseason, Jack, 80 yards, mixed beautifully. 26-yarder from Brister to Lips. Nice run by Carter. Bang, touchdown.
Well, he got some big plays. Passes down to Ehrenberg, who broke a tackle, kept the drive alive, and got the first down. Carter and Reeder both had good runs. You're right, he mixed it up well, and also on that goal line for the touchdown, Rodney Carter, we knew he could catch the ball and run. That time he blocked well on the goal line, took a linebacker and nailed it right at the line of scrimmage, so he's making Chuck Noll sit up and take notice of Rodney Carter tonight because he's having a pretty good game.
And he bounced back from a pretty good hit by Morrison, got right back in the game. Lionel Vitale will be back for the Redskins to return the kickoff. The Redskins have very high hopes for him. He's a first-year man out of Nicholls State. He's about the same size as Errol Tucker. However, on his one kickoff return tonight, Russell Holmes caused him to fumble. That is Lionel Vitale.
They think he's going to be a lot like Joe Washington. He's bigger than Joe Washington, about 195-pound, runs a 4.3 40, but he better hang on to the football or he won't be around long.
Anderson's kick, a good one. 3 yards deep. Here comes Vitale. Boom. Again, the Steelers special teams closing quickly, and that was Bill Callahan from the University of Pittsburgh, the Steelers' 4th-round draft choice from New Kensington. Here's a replay of the touchdown.
Here's a touchdown. You see Rodney Carter leading on the play on a defensive lineman and turns him out, and that enables Reeder to turn inside off of Carter's block and into the end zone for the touchdown. You see it again one more time from ground level. That's Reeder just diving in because there was no penetration. The offensive lineman came off, and the running back did a good job at the point of attack.
Babe Laufenberg, the 3rd-year man out of Indiana, comes in at quarterback for the Redskins. Vitale is the running back. Pass in the flat, and it is complete to James Noble. On the quick out pattern, Domingo Bryant, number 27, made the tackle. Babe Laufenberg, well, we'll watch the replay first. This is Billy Callahan on the kickoff return.
He's a guy going to the ball. It's the only responsibility he has is going to the ball. He gets clipped almost from behind. He bounces right back up. Not bad getting knocked down, but staying down is the problem. He gets right back up and comes in and makes the tackle.
Good job. Laufenberg hits Noble for 11 yards and a first down. Vitale. A couple. Steelers close the hole very quickly. Laufenberg, Gerald Williams makes the tackle. Laufenberg is being showcased tonight. There's no doubt about that, because Mark Ripien is going to be on the ball club. He's a draft choice out of Washington State. And now that the Redskins have signed Doug Williams from the USFL, the former Buccaneer quarterback, Laufenberg is not going to make the club barring injury. He is being showcased tonight, and there are a lot of scouts here tonight.
There's George Young for the New York Giants.
Tim Rooney
as well. So Babe Laufenberg is a big 6'4" quarterback. So if he shows well here in the 3rd quarter, he may have a chance to latch on with someone else.
2nd down and 8. The pass out in the flat. Vitale makes one guy miss, and Gerald Williams from nose tackle catches him from behind to drop him for 7 yards. After the game, it'll be 3rd down and 2 for the first down. Chuck Noll must be more pleased with the way his ball club has played tonight.
You know, he's a guy that just does not panic. A lot of things were written last week, how bad Pittsburgh looked against the Bears. He went about his business, doing the things that he does up training camp, getting the team ready to play, and they have put, in 1 week, they have looked like a different football team. I know this is not the Chicago Bears out here, you know, in Washington Redskins, but it's a different Pittsburgh Steelers football team this evening.
Laufenberg, 3rd and 2. Vitale breaks one tackle, but he cannot get by Rick Woods. He broke through the stack, but Woods is there to stop him short of the first down. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, the Steelers 24, the Redskins 10. All set to begin the fourth quarter on the Steelers 86 network. We want to welcome some of our network stations and their viewers from Charleston and Huntington, West Virginia. They're watching Steelers preseason football on WVAR TV, channel 23, located in Hurricane, West Virginia. Also want to welcome our viewers from around Parkersburg. They're watching the Steelers on WTAP TV, channel 15 in Parkersburg. So, folks, glad to have you with us. Redskins still with a yardage edge. But the thing about it is, they have been able to control the football and not score.
They really control it with their passing game. Short hitch passes to Didier, to Clark, and in the intermediate routes to Monk, and also a long pass to Monk. But they've done it with their passing game and short, quick passing and releasing the ball very quickly to all their backs and receivers.
Errol Tucker back to receive the punt. His one punt reception. Fair catch. Jeff Hayes set to kick for the Redskins. Tucker runs up, takes at the 26. Reverses his field. Got a lane and finally brought down from behind the 35-yard line. Well, if nothing else, Errol Tucker will give you some excitement as he goes about his business. Alvin Walton on the tackle, a 9-yard return.
And he continues to return punts and kickoff like he has been this evening. It'll give Louis Lifts a chance to rest a little bit, not returning punts. He hadn't been on a kickoff team last year, but returning punts quite a bit for Pittsburgh. It'll give a chance to Louis Lifts not to get banged up on those special teams.
Well, let's see what kind of lineup we end up with here. Brister has completed his night's work. Scott Campbell in at quarterback. That goes according to plan. Brister was only slated to work the third quarter. Thompson in motion. Rodney Carter with the ball. Carter across the 35 and out near the 38-yard line for a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7. Sean Burks, rookie free agent linebacker out of LSU, makes the tackle. 2nd down and 7.
I think Joe Gibbs has to be a little bit concerned, even though it's a preseason game. It happened last week against New England. Taking the football all the way up the field and not being able to punch it in for a field goal or a touchdown. Same thing happened again tonight, and that's why they're behind 24-10 at this point.
Sweeney is left, Thompson is right. Warren Seitz in the ball game, along with Dan Reeder. Campbell to throw. A double screen to Warren Seitz to the 40. 50 and into Redskin territory at the 49-yard line. Warren Seitz caught 4 passes last week, picks up 1 here. We have to tell the truth, though, Jack. The touchdown catch was a mistake by Warren Seitz.
Well, if you're going to make a mistake, you might as well make it for a touchdown. Here's a replay right now. We'll watch the screen right here. It's set up. He does a good job. Scott Campbell does a good job of acting and turns back and delivers the ball out to Warren Seitz. You see Blankenship downfield trying to throw a block, and here comes John Rienstra. But last week, Warren Seitz was supposed to block in the backfield, and he did not do that. It went out in random pattern, and he caught a touchdown pass from Scott Campbell.
Campbell out to Calvin Sweeney in the flat at the Redskin 43-yard line. So Calvin picks off his 5th pass of the evening. 2nd down and 4. Darrell Grant mixing it up a little bit. I tell you, I really wish that Rienstra would have signed a week earlier. To see him go against the fridge would have been a colossal collision.
Here's John Rienstra right here going up against Grant. He does a good job. That's an offensive lineman can now do that. See him lock out and hold on a play. And Grant right now takes exception to it. You better remember, John Rienstra is about 285 pounds, can bench press Mr. Grant anytime he wants to.
2nd down and 4. Rienstra got into a couple of fights his first day of practice. Minor border skirmishes, but Campbell is hit. The ball is free. And falling on it for the Redskins is Steve Hamilton initially. He could have picked it up and run for a touchdown. Darrell Grant is the man who hit Scott Campbell and forced him to fumble. What a hit.
There had to be some confusion in the offensive line for Grant to come clean like that, free on Scott Campbell.
And somehow the Steelers recovered the ball. Warren Seitz comes out of there with the ball. How he got it, I'll never know.
There were 5 Redskins around the football. I thought they were going to run it in for a touchdown. Here's the play again. You see Grant coming right up the middle. Had to be a miscommunication with the offensive lineman. Causes the fumble, but somehow Pittsburgh comes back up with it with Warren Seitz making the recovery. That's a tough shot. Scott Campbell wished he did not play. A lot of time guys trying to pick the football up and try to run it in. First of all, they got to control the ball. They never did, and Seitz comes up with the recovery.
Little flare pass out to Rodney Carter. Looks for a block upfield. Gets one or two, but he'll be lucky to get back. Oh, look out. Go down, Rodney.
Exactly right.
Go down. Marcus Cook, the Redskins' #2 draft choice out of Boise State, alma mater of Rick Woods. First man in on the tackle. He's number 74.
I'm sure in a couple of weeks when Washington signs their holdout, who's the holdout #1 draft pick that the
Walter Murray.
Oh, Walter Murray, the wide receiver.
This is Jeff Williams. His first punt of the evening was a 50-yarder. He took a long time to get that away. That might have been blocked. Short line drive. Jenkins hit hard and does not make it back to the 30-yard line. So that punt by Williams is short, but to make up for it, it was low. 11:56 to play in the football game. The Steelers leading the Redskins 24-10. We'll be back in a moment. The Steelers will take over, or rather, excuse me, the Redskins will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. Something of interest that we may get a chance to look at also in this defensive series. Kent Warnock back in there, getting a good look. And also Errol Tucker. Of course, Tucker has no difficulty in making his football team as a kick returner, but Jack, if he can play the corner, he could be a nickel back. Certainly it's a bonus if he can play some defense.
You can never have too many defensive backs. In today's game, sometimes teams use as much as 7 defensive backs and 4 down linemen in a prevent situation. So if he can cover maybe a back out of the backfield or a wide receiver, they'll use him quite a bit when they go to different situations in a prevent game.
Some of those young guys you see, 46 John Gay, #2 Scott Helverson, #45 Arnold Fields, they are hoping to get a chance to get in the football game and to show something, because again, the cut-down date is Tuesday. The Steelers have 89 on the roster. They must get down to 60. A lot of people.
There'll be a traffic jam on Route 30 leaving the Trobe on Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, if you're going up to the Greensburg Mall, I'd go pretty early. Laufenberg at quarterback, Vitale the lone setback. Flags down. Laufenberg's pass batted up in the air, almost intercepted. I think Ken Warnock may have gotten a hand on it. Gerald Williams was running over to make the interception. Warnock just keeps going. When you stand behind him, his body never stops. He's just huge. Motion on the Redskins. Ron Tilton, the left guard, number 76, was the guilty man. There's Warnock.
Warnock did a good job at continuing to make progress to the quarterback. He did not stop once he got blocked, and when he could not get to the quarterback, Laufenberg, he got his hands up in the air. And at 6'7", when you put your arms up, it's awfully tough for a quarterback, even though Laufenberg is a big quarterback to see downfield.
Warnock got the tip on the play. He's 6'7". And that's very difficult, even for a guy as big as Laufenberg, to try to throw over a guy that big. 2nd down and 10. The Steelers decline the motion penalty. Steelers back in the 3-man front. Laufenberg in trouble. Throws up. And it is caught at the 30-yard line. A flag is down. Terry Orr, the H-back, made the catch over Domingo Bryant. Not real good defense by Bryant.
He might have pushed off. They threw the flag at the 41-yard line. This may be offensive pass interference again. We'll have to wait and see, but Orr slowed down on the play. You know what, they're going to call it against Domingo Bryant. You see Laufenberg just throwing the ball downfield. Here's Orr kind of slowing up right here. Kind of slows up and just, he sees the football coming. Domingo Bryant does not. They called it on Pittsburgh, on Domingo Bryant. 1st down, Washington.
A 41-yard gain. When a quarterback throws up a rainbow like that, you can't allow that ball to be completed.
Well, it's just a lot of contact by both people downfield, and Orr just kind of was almost like a basketball jump ball situation, and he just out-jumped Domingo Bryant. They threw the flag on Bryant.
41-yard gain, the ball spotted just outside the Steelers' 30, 11.5 to play in the game. And certainly a Redskin touchdown here brings them right back into it. Laufenberg throwing to the far corner. Touchdown! The pass complete to James Noble. He beat Anthony Tuggle on the play. A flag is down. It'll go against the Steelers, but Tuggle gets burned for the 2nd week in a row.
And Stan, I hate to be redundant, but it was an all-out blitz again. They brought people off the corner. They brought Anthony Hinton off the outside. It was one-on-one, no help at all. Aggressive defense by Pittsburgh, but the cornerbacks have not been able to hold up on the plays. Another touchdown. Here's the play right here. It's just an all-out blitz, but if you're trying to do is just lob the ball, he knows he's got single coverage downfield, does a good job of putting the ball out there, and receiver Noble comes down with it for the touchdown.
Well, the all-out blitz puts the pressure on the corner, but Anthony Tuggle and Steve Cox might commiserate. The extra point is good, and the Redskins are within a touchdown. 11:07 to play in the game. The Steelers 24, the Redskins 17. We'll be back in just a moment.
Something about the night when the stars come out to play. The feeling it's so right. It's my favorite time of the day. So give me the night. Give me the night. Give me an icy light. Oh, give me the night. Give me the night. Give me an icy light. Clear, refreshing, and bright. The choice that's always right. So give me the night. Give me the night. Give me an icy light.
Imagine there is a magnificent estate where the owners enjoy an occasional ballet, or opera, a winter sleigh ride, even some cool jazz on a warm summer night. This is Heartwood Acres, and the owners, they're the 1.5 million residents of Allegheny County. Heartwood Acres is one great performance we all can enjoy. Pittsburgh National. We're a bank that believes in performance.
Babe Laufenberg, who is putting on a show, if not for Joe Gibbs, then for some other teams around the NFL. This telecast is authorized under broadcast rights granted by the NFL and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Any broadcast or show of the count of this game, which is expressed written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL, is strictly prohibited. Close enough. Laufenberg, 4 out of 5, 88 yards, and the touchdown pass. 71-yard drive. Jack, Tony Dungy, the Steelers defensive coordinator, had said he wanted to be more aggressive on defense, and yet in the times that we've seen here in a one game plus 3 quarters, every time the Steelers come all out at the quarterback, they're getting burned.
I'll tell you, it's going to have Tony Dungy really thinking up here at training camp when they go back to practice, because when you get burned like last week, Harvey Clayton one time for his score, again Harvey today, and although it's second team people right now, if you don't have confidence and your people don't have confidence in the blitz, that your people on the corners can hold up, it'll never work for you. So he's going to have to maybe do some rethinking.
Cox to the goal line. Tucker hurdles one man. In trouble, does not make it back to the 20-yard line. There is a flag on the play as Tucker is dropped at the 19-yard line. Rick Podonick, the fullback from Maryland, makes the tackle on special teams. Also Raven Campbell, a back-up linebacker for the Redskins. The penalty against the Steelers. Move it back to the 10-yard line.
You know, we know Tucker ran one back for here's the touchdown right here. You see this one-on-one coverage, doesn't get any help at all, and the ball was right there from Laufenberg, and Noble just grabs it for the touchdown, but it's a one-on-one coverage. You see people coming off the corner at Laufenberg. He reads it quickly and just delivers the ball to the outside. He knows exactly where the one-on-one coverage, he can see it because he can see the blitzer coming off the corner.
So because of the short drop, only 3 steps, there was a blitz control because he let it go immediately.
Exactly, but you got to have, we're having somebody come clean off the corner, just not getting there. Had he set up at a normal 7 yards, would have had a chance for somebody to get to him. With a short drop, he got rid of the football, read the blitz, touchdown.
Now the Steelers really operating with some pressure. Back to the wall. The crowd is alive. Campbell out in the flat, and it is caught by Calvin Sweeney. Nice gainer on first down. Morrison shoves Sweeney out of bounds, his 6th reception of the night. One follow-up question, Jack. Well, let's look at Calvin Sweeney.
He's working on Morrison now, not Vernon Dean, but just a quick out right now. Now Morrison just has to react to the play in front of him because he got him with no help, so he's got to give him that sort of cushion, and Calvin Sweeney just breaks it off right in front of him.
You guys are laughing up here. Don Meredith went 13 years without reading that disclaimer properly. Good. 2nd down, 2. Seitz. He'll lose yardage. Alvin Walton, the strong safety, coming up hard to make the tackle on Seitz. It'll be 3rd down And the Steelers really need a first down to quiet this crowd and get some operating room.
We see Rodney Carter coming in the game. 3rd down and about 3 or 4. This is a good time to try to go to that back out of the backfield, who'll probably get one-on-one cover with a linebacker. And we ran that option route so many times this season, they may try it again with Carter.
Steelers, not a good 3rd down conversion percentage. Connell Swain, number 43, comes in at a wide receiver. Very big play in the game. Campbell fumbles the snap. We believe Dan Reeder is recovered. Indeed he has.
Tough break for Pittsburgh. They had Carter on a linebacker. The mismatch as they wanted. Campbell fumbles the snap. Did not have any kind of chance to get the ball out. Now they have to punt the football away. And I think here's where you find out about your punter. A punter's got to kick from his own end zone. He's got to get good hang time and get a good kickoff. I think Chuck Noll enjoys the idea of having his punter in this kind of situation.
Jeff Williams will do the punting. He fumbles the snap. Safety, Washington, and they're lucky it wasn't a touchdown.
We got a penalty flag on the play, though, Stan. We'll have to wait and see on the play.
Procedure on the Steelers. It'll be declined, of course. They call it a touchdown. Williams was on top of the ball, and it was stolen away from him.
If he's on top of the ball in the end zone, the play is dead right there. We'll have to watch it right here. He picks the football up, drops it on the ground. They must have scored it out from underneath. He never had possession. Here, the snap is a good snap. He should have controlled the snap. Here he is with one hand. Now he drops the football. Let's see if it squirts out right here.
Well, see, he's got his hands on it. And Noll is arguing about the play. I think he had his hands on the ball, Jack, but you have mentioned so many times, underneath that pile, it is really rugged. You better hang on to it. The extra point is good.
If he had control of the ball in the end zone, as soon as the guy hits him, it's dead right there. It should have been Pittsburgh possession. It should have been a safety, not a touchdown.
But
you see Chuck right now. He's arguing for the safety call.
I thought it was a safety, but no, it's a touchdown. We've got a tie game. 9:35 to play. We'll be back in just a moment.
It took me totally by surprise. The other day, some guy asked me how my car was riding. I've heard some opening lines before, but this one took the cake. Well, it turns out he wanted me to test ride Monroe Gasmatic shocks. Now, my car's only a couple of years old. Who needed new shocks, right? I needed new shocks. They gave my car a much better ride. And that's not a line.
Have you gotten used to a bad ride? Monroe will give you the best ride ever. Guaranteed.
America rides Monroe.
My son-in-law is threatening to leave now to get a job. I'd hate to see my grandchildren move away from me.
If I'm governor of this state, we're going to bring our kids back, we're going to bring our families back, we're going to bring our jobs back. I got 3 children. I want them to live here. I want them to have opportunities here. I want them to grow up here. You want your children
here
to stay in Pennsylvania, be here, be near you, be with you. That's been the strength of this state. It's been our families.
Bill Scranton for tomorrow's Pennsylvania.
The Steelers with 2 consecutive fumbles, and it cost them a touchdown. 1 on a 3rd and 3, 1 on the punt. You'll see there's nothing wrong with the snap at all.
Now Jeff Williams gets the ball right belt high. He takes his eyes off it. He's looking at the rush coming in, and now he can't control the football at all. Now when he gets down to the ground, he has the ball right here. The man coming in at the top of the screen, they're saying, here you can see Williams with the ball right there. It should have been called dead, a safety at worst right there against Williams.
Sure, as soon as the man has the ball on the ground and his knee is down and he's touched, the play's over.
Exactly.
You cannot steal the ball.
It happened in the Super Bowl a couple of times where no one had possession of the ball, where balls get stolen like that, but not that situation where a guy touches you down right in the end zone.
Kickoff. Tucker will stay in. Well, the one good thing about this, the Steelers now will operate under a great deal of pressure. See how they react.
Stan, I'll tell you, this is a big question right now. We've got that instant replay camera up here today on a possession play. I guess the officials up in the booth looking at it did not reverse the call. So I guess they felt that he never had possession of the ball, although it looks like from this angle that he does. But that's why they have the instant replay camera here to see if it's working. They did not reverse the call, so I guess the officials up in the booth felt it was a good call.
Or they did not feel the angle was clear enough to make the overrule. Campbell rolling out, looking and firing deep downfield, out of bounds. Thompson was there and Sweeney were there. It's important at this point that the Steelers, with the pressure on them, on the road, the crowd screaming at them, get something going here. It tells a great deal about the character of a team to fight back.
I think even though Chuck Noll was arguing, he got the game tied right now, I think he likes to see his team in this kind of position. You're exactly right, where you've got to make a drive, you've got to make first down, you've got to move the football upfield. And this is where you find out about guys who can play under pressure in a situation where the game's out of hand, you have no problem there. But here's a time with a pressure situation, you'll find out how some of these young people react.
Reader in sights behind Campbell. Campbell out in the flat, wide open drop. Warren Sights dropped the ball. And so far the Steeler rookies have not responded well to the pressure. It'll be third down and 10 yards to go.
And those are the type of plays you've got to make. You're not in college anymore. You're going to get banged around. You're going to be have crowds of 60, 70,000. They're going to be screaming and yelling. But you've got to make those plays, quiet crowds down in away ballparks, and make first downs.
Third down and 10. It has not been a good night for the Steelers on third down conversions. They are only 3 out of 10. Dan Turk at center. Campbell with time, throws, it is incomplete, a flag down. The Redskins are going to be called for pass interference. Barry Wilburn, number 45, the corner, draped all over the Steeler receiver. It'll give Pittsburgh a first down.
I think Barry Wilburn has no complaint at all. He was all over Ouija Thompson. And give credit that he have to wait for the call.
It's on the Steelers? It might be 2 penalties here.
No, they're calling Ouija Thompson for pushing off right here.
Well, they might have a point.
Ouija Thompson's a physical receiver, and he's complaining right now, and so is the defensive back Wilburn. They're going to call it on Pittsburgh.
And that'll bring up fourth down and 10. Bob Slater, first-year tackle, being helped off, number 75. And they're going to give Jeff Williams another shot at it.
Boy, he is, and you talk about a pressure situation right now. He needs to get off a good kick. First of all, he's got to handle the snap. Dan Turk is one of the best snappers Chuck Noll has ever seen. And he put the ball last time belt high, so we'll see what Williams does right here.
Decent kick by Williams. Jenkins hit hard by Cam Jacobs. Good job by Cam Jacobs. He's shaken up.
Cam Jacobs is down flat on the ground right now. Cam Jacobs, another one of those players trying to make this football team make some big plays, and you could do it on special teams. He came down with reckless abandon, and I'm not sure he knows exactly where he is right now, because you can get your bell rung on special teams, and he's being helped off by the trainers right now.
42-yard punt by Jeff Williams. 9 minutes exactly to play in the game.
See Jenkins trying to turn upfield. Here comes Cam Jacobs off his feet right now. Makes the tackle. Here's Russell Holmes trying to help out. Good coverage by Pittsburgh's punt coverage team.
Danzel Lee, a reserve tight end, came over and knocked Dirt Winston flat, giving Dirt some of his own medicine.
That doesn't normally happen to Dirt.
No. He really got waxed in there, but Cam Jacobs got the hit. The Redskins have great field position, their own 45-yard line. Tie game, 24 all. Rothenberg out in the flat. It is complete to Terry Orr at the Steeler 49-yard line. It's a gain of 6, second and 4. Chris Sheffield on the tackle.
Impressed with Laufenberg. He gets rid of the football. He's got a quick release. He had Merriweather coming off the corner free right at him. He delivered the football before Merriweather could get to him for a good completion to Orr. But I think there's some teams out there in the NFL that Laufenberg could play for the backup role right now. So that showcasing that Joe Gibbs is doing right now may pay off for Laufenberg next week.
Rick Badonic, fullback from Maryland, 7th-round draft choice of the Skins in the ball game, 2nd and 4. That's Badonic in motion. Lionel Vitale, he's got the first down inside the Steeler 45-yard line. Pitt fans, Penn State fans, West Virginia fans will remember Rick Badonic. He's a tough, tough customer. Scored a touchdown last week for the Redskins. They're only one of the game.
A 10-yard run right from about the first or second quarter. By that time, he came in motion and just hit the linebacker right at the line of scrimmage. You're exactly right. He's a hard-nosed type runner, good on short yardage. They like him a lot. They seem to think he reminds them of a little John Riggins out there, the way he runs and the way he blocks.
1st and 10, Redskins. Laufenberg in trouble, flag down, he throws on the run. Incomplete, threw under pressure. Darrell Sims chasing after him. Mike Merriweather chasing after him. Remember, a flag on the play.
Darrell Sims right now is complaining he's getting held.
Raleigh McKenzie was the guy holding him.
And Darrell Sims is a lot more active in this game. He didn't have a good game last week against Jimbo Colbert, but right now you see Sims going up the field, now breaking back inside. He and Merriweather working the game. You see Merriweather coming underneath. And now here comes Darrell Sims and Merriweather ahead of him, chasing Laufenberg out of the pocket.
You know, one thing about the Steeler defense, they really have not given up a drive. They've given up 2 long plays. The other touchdown, of course, came on the fumbled punt snap. So really the defense done a pretty good job tonight.
Well, I think they're a lot more aggressive. I think Gerald Williams making some big plays in the nose tackle position. Now, like I said, Darrell Sims has played a little better this week. I think he's a little more aggressive. Now we're seeing Merriweather coming off corner, so we're seeing a little bit more aggressive defense by Pittsburgh, but it cost them a couple touchdowns as well.
1st and 20 for the Redskins. That should be intentional grounding, yeah, and they do. They got him at.
Threw it at the water cooler.
Billy Callahan on a safety blitz was the man who forced him to throw, and that is a loss of down as well.
One thing Babe Laufenberg has got to learn, when you roll out of the pocket, rolling away from that blitz, when you deliver the ball, just throw it at the dirt of one of your receivers or whatever, just to not throw it that far, make it that obvious that you're trying to get rid of the football, and the official right there called it. Loss it down, and the penalty. And we could be here for a while. This continues.
It is 2nd down. Very long yardage. They mark this off at 14, 24, 31. 2nd down and 31.
Do we get overtime for overtime?
You were lucky we get paid. Forget about overtime. Of course, doesn't make any difference to you. You're a coal baron. You're just doing this for fun. Some of us are trying to slug out a living.
You make $500,000 a year. What are you complaining about?
2nd down and 31. Dwight Garner, the setback behind Laufenberg. He looks and throws deep down the middle, and it is intercepted and dropped. Williams knocked down Billy Callahan. Callahan entered the interception, and it was Williams who hit him and caused him to drop the ball. And Eric Williams is apologizing. That was a heck of a lick. We've got a flag down back by the line of scrimmage.
Chuck Noll will not complain about it. He had both people going for the football, Williams and Callahan. It just so happened they got a poor break where they both collide with each other and knock the ball loose. But another holding penalty, and that time Laufenberg just put the ball up for grabs. 2 deep zone behind. You see Callahan almost coming up with the interception, and the best hit Eric Williams made tonight was on his own teammate.
Eric Williams looked like Bobo Brazil. That was a headbutt, a cocoa butt there. Now I have to ask a question. Why in the world would the Steelers take this penalty? Now it's 2nd down and 40. Wouldn't you rather have 3rd and 31 or 41?
I couldn't hit a 2-iron for this first down.
Am I allowed to editorialize? That's really stupid, I think. All right, 2nd down and 40. give or take a mile. Screen to Dwight Garner. Darrell Sims brings him down from behind. And right, Sims is animated. He's motivated. He's excited about what's going on.
Darrell Sims not only rushed the passer and forced Laufenberg to throw the screen out there, then he turned around on the hustle. Now, I'll tell you one thing, he's a different Darrell Sims this week. He's making some plays, putting pressure on a quarterback right now, and hustling all over the field.
Well, now it's 3rd down and 34.
Well, it's awfully tough for a defensive lineman. You rush the pass, you realize it's a screen. You got to be really disciplined to turn around and then hustle and help out on the tackle as well. But when the running back turned back inside, Darrell Sims was right there to help out on the play.
I don't mean to detract from his performance, but it'll be interesting to see if he continues that next week. Got to be more than just one game. 3rd and 34. Pass out in the flat. Garner well short of the first down. Inbounds. Mike Merriweather made the tackle. David Little also over there.
Joe Phillips absolutely nailed Eric Williams at the 50-yard line, upended him, put him right out in his back, and they were talking to each other as they would leave the field.
That'll be 4th down and very long yardage. The Redskins forced the punt. But the only reason I can see for accepting that penalty is field position, because now a field goal can win the ball game with under 6 minutes to play.
Well, the only thing, though, when you take another penalty like that, if any kind of holding penalty by the defense or anything like that will give it an automatic first down. You don't like to give a team offense another chance like that, so I'd have declined the penalty as well.
Jeff Hayes to punt. Errol Tucker, single safety back at his 15-yard line. High kick by Hayes, but rather short. Tucker calls for the fair catch and dives on it up at his own 28-yard line. Well, the Steelers come out of it with relatively good field position.
And Tucker did a smart thing. Chuck Noll's always telling you to make sure you catch those punts and not let them hit on the ground where they can bounce around. He saved a lot of yardage right there, coming up there, hustling and making that catch on the 28-yard line.
Well, Jack, 2 weeks from tomorrow night, the Steelers 86 telecast will continue. This time coming from the Meadowlands at Giants Stadium in New Jersey. The Steelers meet the New York Giants in the last preseason game of the 86 season. That's coming up Saturday, August 30th at 8 p.m. right here on the Steelers 86 Network.
And you talk about defense. The New York Giants know how to play defense. They got outstanding personnel led by Lawrence Taylor. So, again, this whole preseason for Pittsburgh, Dallas, and then with the New York Giants, is a tough preseason this year.
Based on last year's regular season records, the Steelers have the toughest preseason schedule in the NFL, for what that's worth. That is Bob Slater. He's a first-year defensive tackle. You saw him come off earlier from Oklahoma at that injured left knee. Well, the Steelers have not been able to drive out of trouble. Their defense has done a good job. It is 1st down and 10. Steelers their own 28. Almost intercepted. Tim Morrison almost stepped in front of that pass and almost returned it for the touchdown. A reminder of the pass that Campbell threw against the Vikings in preseason last year.
And I think Scott Campbell should have stayed with the play he originally started, because he audible at the line of scrimmage. Right now he just drops back, audibles to an out pattern. Morrison just breaks underneath right here and almost comes up with the interception, taking it away from Calvin Sweeney.
Nothing wrong with throwing on 1st down, but the Steelers really have not tried to run the ball out of trouble. 2nd and 10. Campbell, ball batted down. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
I think at that time they brought one of their backup linebackers, Caldwell, on the blitz, got his hands up, jumped up in the air, and Scott Campbell is not a tall quarterback like the Redskin quarterback. It's tough for him to see downfield when a big defensive lineman and linebacker keep their hands up in the air, and that time Caldwell just batted the ball down.
Raven Caldwell, rookie, 5th-round draft choice out of Arkansas.
You see Scott Campbell right here. Caldwell coming underneath, getting his hands up in the air, right in the throwing lane for Scott Campbell, trying to get the ball to the outside, and knocks the ball down.
Steelers 3 out of 11 on conversions on 3rd down. Campbell throwing sideline, caught for the 1st down. Big possession down. The pass complete to Calvin Sweeney. He has had a magnificent game for the Steelers tonight.
You got Calvin Sweeney, you got bump and run coverage underneath the zone defense. Right now you see Morrison underneath. He goes up the field and works himself free to the outside, and Campbell, looking off the receiver, took the defensive back into the middle a little bit, gave Calvin Sweeney time to come to the outside, and now that was the 7th catch of the evening.
Big night for Calvin Sweeney. One of them a touchdown pass. Raphael Cherry made the tackle. That is a big, big first down. The Steelers at their own 48. It's going to be against the Steelers. Tony Sagnella from Rutgers is the man who jumped, but he was drawn off. You see the time remaining. It'll be 1st and 15, the procedure call against the Steelers.
There's a man that has no pressure at all. Nobody fighting for his job. He's the only kicker in camp. Very relaxed attitude. He'd like to get a chance to win this game in regulation.
1st and 15. Campbell, quick drop, slant pattern, cut over the middle for a first down near the 40-yard line. Nice pattern run by Weegee Thompson. Gives you the big target and a 17-yard gain for Pittsburgh.
It looks like an easy reception, but Weegee Thompson's going to have to run that quick inside post. You look at him right now, just turning right across the middle. Good target for Scott Campbell. The ball is right there, takes it and gets down to about the 40-yard line.
Nicely done on both ends of the play.
Great timing between the two of them.
4.5 to play in the game. Tie game, 24-24. Reeder, Blankenship in front of him. Cuts inside to the 35. Reeder following Blankenship. Reeder looks a bit shaken up on the play. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Sagnella and Caldwell make the stop.
Now, Reeder's the type of running back. You see him right now. It's that weak side trap. And Blankenship out in front of him. One of the defensive linemen get penetration. Blankenship keeps his feet. Does a good job of getting in front of one of the Redskin defenders. And then Reeder cuts off him for some good yards, about 4 or 5 yards.
Even though Rienstra is back, Jack, the fact that Wolfley's hurt and Voorhees is hurt, this guy might have a chance to make the team, Brian Blankenship, because they are very thin at guard.
All of a sudden, injuries are a big factor in preseason. When you're a rookie or a second-year guy trying to make the club, an injury like the Craig Wolfley could put Blankenship on the team. I think comes for the Seattle game, though, we'll see number 79 in there, the starting lineup.
Warren Sykes breaks a tackle and drives. Near the 30-yard line, a flag is down. Sykes picks up 4. It would have been 3rd and 2. We'll wait what the penalty call is going to be. It is against the Steelers.
As they mark off his penalty, I'll tell you one thing, neither team out there would care to go to overtime. You know, preseason game, I know a lot of the veterans like Donnie Shell and Mike Webster and John Stallworth, they've been around a long time. And overtime in preseason is one of the worst things you could ever go through.
Holding on the Steelers. Redskins obviously take the penalty back to the 45-yard line, so it is 2nd down, 16. And of course that moves Gary Anderson out of field goal range for the time being. Clock running, 3:40 to play in the game. Campbell, slant pattern again, but this time it is off Weegee Thompson's fingertips. A little bit too tall for Thompson, even at his height of 6'6". 3rd down, 16. Now, what do you want to do here, Jack? Pick up about 7-8 yards to get Anderson in field goal position, or go for the first down?
I think a good possession route. I don't know if you're going to try to get the first down or not. I think I'd like to go back to Calvin Sweeney on that out pattern or that flag that he ran for the touchdown to try to just work with a defensive back all day. He's gotten open, 7 catches, and he may be the guy that Scott Campbell has to go to right here.
Campbell throwing off the wrong foot. Thompson cannot get there. Wilburn on the coverage. That was almost like the route they throw in the end zone. The jump pass route didn't connect. It'll be 4th down.
Well, Scott Campbell read blitz. He saw the people coming. His strong and weak safety were coming. It was one-on-one coverage, but he did not have the timing with Weegee Thompson. We saw the blitz earlier where the quarterback from the Washington Redskins, Schrader, picked it up and hit Art Monk. This time, Campbell could not do it. Have to punt the football away.
Williams to punt, looking for the corner. Kicks it straight away. Jenkins calls fair catch and takes it at the 12-yard line. So, 33-yard kick by Williams, but he does get it inside the 10 at the 12. The Redskins at their own 12 have 3:23, and of course, a field goal wins the ball game. Next week, the Steelers will be in Dallas, take on the Cowboys and Herschel Walker, one would presume. And in case you're wondering why the Steeler 86 network will not be carrying it, that'll be televised nationally by ABC. And then the following week, the Steelers will close out the exhibition season against the Giants in New York on Saturday, August 30th. Then, talk about coast to coast, it's all the way out to Seattle for the season opener on Sunday, September 7th. The Redskins, who were down 24-10, they have fought back to tie. 1st and 10. Redskins outside their 12. Dwight Garner, nothing doing there. Good defensive play. Dirt Winston in there with the rookies. He also had help from Kermit Sykes, rookie cornerback, free agent out of Vanderbilt.
I think Tony Dungy's doing a good thing right now by interchanging some of the young people out there with some of the veterans. You see Mike Merriweather out there, Dennis Winston, but you also have Coors and Darrell Sims and people like that. So they're not putting a wholesale change right now. They're out trying to win this football game here in the second preseason game.
2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard gain by Garner. No setbacks behind Laufenberg. Beats the rush, got a lot of room to run. And he hits the dirt near the 1st down. They're going to mark him down at the 20-yard line. Remember the rule passed a couple of years ago. When a quarterback takes the dive, you cannot hit him. The gain is to the 20. It'll be 3rd and 3. The clock running, 2:25 to play in the game. Or in regulation, I should say.
And a lot of guys out there who've played a long time, especially young people like Gerald Williams, who's still hustling on the plate, trying to peel back and try to help out and bring it down Laufenberg. So a lot of these guys realize they're trying to make the football team right now. That big cut on Tuesday looms awfully tough for some of these guys.
If the Steelers can hold here, they would get good field position after the punt. 3rd down and 3. Tune in next week. It's the 2-minute warning. The suspense will build. We're at the 2-minute warning. We are tied at 24. We'll be back in just a moment.
In this whole wide world, there's one spectacular taste you just can't pass up. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Have you driven a Ford?
Now get 6.9% financing or cash back on the purchase or red carpet lease of most new Ford cars and trucks. Up to $600 cash back on Ford Ranger, $600 cash back on Thunderbird, and 5-speed tempos. Low rates and cash back on other Ford cars and trucks, too.
Come drive a Ford. It's your choice. Special low financing or cashback. See the full line of cars and trucks. Ford prices may never be lower.
2 minutes to play in the game. Both teams facing a critical 3rd down and 3. This is the group. Turn around. Say hello. Ron Rickens, our spotter. John Grohall, our assistant AD. Charlie Fisher, our statistician. I'm sitting because I'm old and tired.
And almost 40.
And turn the camera off, please. Back to the field. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. I wish I was doing these games when you were still playing, Ham. I'll tell you that much.
My ears would have been burning up here.
I hope we're still together because you're not that far away yourself. Let's remember that. Well, the Redskins have had the big edge. They have moved the football up and down the field, but have not been able to score inside the 10. The big plays have been the way that they have scored 2 long bombs for touchdowns. One by Laufenberg, one by Schrader, and the Steelers fumble a punt in the end zone. Laufenberg's a very popular guy in this town, but really, when the Redskins signed Doug Williams, it pretty much sealed his fate. 3rd down and 3. Biggest play of the ball game to date. Orr in motion near side. He's going to run for it. He's got the 1st down to 24. He didn't make it by a whole lot. Well, they're going to mark him back a little bit. I still think he's got it, however.
Well, it's close enough for a measurement. They're going to bring it in right now. He was trying to go to Orr, who was matched up on Anthony Hinton. Anthony Hinton did a good job of jamming him at the line of scrimmage. So Laufenberg just tucked the ball underneath and ran for the 1st down, but it's awfully close right now. And they're going to bring out the sticks to see whether he got it or not.
What about a linebacker there, Jack? You're playing pass. Now the guy comes up. I guess all you can do is just, yeah, they've got the 1st down.
thing Anthony Hinton did on the play is he stayed with the receiver until Laufenberg decided to run with the football. If you drop off your receiver too early and come up and try to help out in a tackle on the quarterback, he'll dump the football off the receiver that you just left. So that time Anthony Hinton did a good job by staying with Orr, who was the H-back in motion on the play.
The clock is running, 1:35 to play in the game. The Redskins have 2 timeouts. The Steelers have 3. Laufenberg has to start to throw now. Over the middle, caught but shy of the first down. Dennis Winston again on the tackle. Laufenberg calls for the play at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 5. The clock running. Sideline, caught, 1st down. The pass complete to Dwight Garner, stops the clock with a minute to play. Garner, a rookie free agent from Cal, played there for Joe Cap. All right, now how about the defensive philosophy here, Jack? What do you start doing now that the Redskins are up about the 35?
Well, I think Tony Dungy feels right now, as we see Buchanan catch the ball and go out of bounds, I think he feels they cannot possess the football all the way up the field and get any points with a minute left. So he's going to play the same style of defense. He's got the 4-down linemen in there right now. The prevent packages in. He's got Merriweather in the game. So they're going to probably play a lot of man coverage because Washington loves to dink the football off to those receivers and backs.
2 timeouts left, 1 minute to play. Steelers, no rush to the sideline, overthrown and incomplete. Again, looking for the running back Garner out of the backfield. Good coverage, however, on that side for the Steelers by Robin Cole.
That's one thing people don't realize. For an inside linebacker like Robin Cole, was like 235 pounds when I saw him up in training camp. He looks like he's been in the weight room for about the last year and a half. But he also has to cover people out of the backfield. That time he took Garner, a good, quick running back, covered him man-to-man and did a good job. Took him all the way to the sidelines.
It is apparent that Joe Gibbs would give Mark Mosley the shot at the field goal if they get that close. It would be Mosley's first attempt of the preseason. He did not try one last week nor tonight. 2nd and 10. Laufenberg in trouble, throws. It is almost intercepted by Gerald Williams. Darrell Sims with the pass rush, and Gerald Williams almost came up with the interception.
Gerald Sims is dropping off from his, I'm not sure if he's not tired out there, cannot rush the passer anymore, taking an angle. You see right now he gets pinned right in the middle between he and Goodman trying to work a game together. But again, it's Darrell Sims from that right end position putting pressure on the quarterback. And Gerald Williams almost comes up with the interception. Defensive linemen and nose tackles never have good hands. You see it right there. You see him club to the inside. He uses his arm to take the inside pass rush. He's a strong defensive end. He worked right inside the offensive tackle, put pressure on Laufenberg.
The Redskins are 6 out of 12 on 3rd down conversions. This is 3rd and 10. In the face of a rush, man wide open, and is caught by Garner at the Steelers' 37-yard line. And the Redskins will use a timeout. Williams made the tackle, but Dwight Garner was wide open. And the Redskins are close to field goal territory. 39 seconds to play in the game.
This time they matched up on a linebacker again. This is Robin Cole covering Garner. You see Robin Cole was about 4 yards away from him. He throws the ball up over Cole. Garner makes the catch, and then Eric Williams comes on to play. You see it again. You see Robin Cole going out of your picture. Now you'll see him following Garner up the field. He's about 4 or 5 steps behind him. That's too much ground for Williams to make up, and Garner makes the catch for a big play to the 37-yard line.
There's the man who could win it for the Redskins, Mark Mosley. 1 timeout left for the Redskins, 39 seconds to play. The executive producer of the Steelers 86 Network is Judy Gerard. Our producer, Jim Silman. Our directors, Brian Sipe and Ernie Bauer. Coordinating producer, Irving Snuffy Smith. And associate producer, Tim Kiley. Assistant producer is Jay Silman. We got to get him in. He's the producer's son, and there'll be big trouble otherwise. Well, the Redskins have converted 2 critical 3rd down plays, Jack. One on the scramble by Laufenberg, 3rd and 3, but that one to have a guy that wide open.
Well, we had them matched up 2 times in a row. Garner on Robin Cole. Cole on a short route did a good job. That time when he pump faked, you saw Laufenberg pump fake, and then that's when Garner made the out move and back up into the middle in that seam area, and he beat Robin Cole.
Right now, Mosley would be looking at a 54-yard field goal if the Redskins get no closer. In the flat, Terry Orr looking to get out of bounds, and he does. Merriweather tossed them out of bounds. Now they are definitely in field goal range. And of course, the important thing is that Orr was able to get out of bounds, saving the Redskins their 1 timeout. 32 seconds to play.
Short intermediate routes against the linebackers. This time Orr, the H-back in motion. He's lined up. He's on Merriweather. What he's trying to do is come up the field, get some depth on the route, and then break it off to the outside. And that separation between he and the linebacker, and at that time it was Mike Merriweather, and he made the catch for 9 yards and then got out of bounds.
Laufenberg, 11 out of 15, 159 yards and a touchdown. And now they'll be fairly careful with the football because they are in Mosley's range. Well, Garner's coming in and caught 3 passes. This is Garner on the run. Missed tackle. First down inside the Steeler 20. That should do it. The Redskins may or may not want to run another play. Just call timeout with a few seconds left and have an easy shot to win the ball game.
Well, they turned the corner. The same play that John Riggins has run so many times. Pulled it off guard and tackle around to the strong side. Garner just followed his 2 blockers. They turned the corner and took it to the 20-yard line. Now with 7 seconds left, they're going to come in here and try to win the game.
The Redskins use their last timeout. Mosley comes onto the field. It'll be a 37-yard field goal.
Well, that might be tough for an old man who's been standing around the whole day or whole evening right now watching Cox kick to come out here and make 1 big kick here at the end to win it, but he's made so many over the years for Washington. To watch Cox on the sidelines watching Mosley, and I wonder what he's thinking.
If Joe Gibbs really thought that Cox had a chance to make the team, I would expect, seriously, he would put Cox in and give him a chance to redeem himself. But I think that whether Mosley makes it or not, that's pretty much the decision there. As far as the Steelers are concerned, you like your defense not to allow these late kind of drives, although I don't know that that undermines the way the defense played tonight.
No, I think in this last drive, I think there were a lot of tired people out there. Like Robin Cole was in there, Merriweather, and some of the front line people. And you can see during that timeout, a lot of players on both sides of the field were on the ground with their helmets off, on one knee, taking a breather. And you knew it was a hot, humid night here in Washington. And I just think fatigue here at the end was a factor.
Now the 3rd down and 10 play, 27 yards to Dwight Garner. Got the Redskins in field goal position. This is a 37-yard field goal attempt. The angle to Mosley's left. This is the ball game right here. He missed it by a wide margin. And we're going to overtime. Now the fans in RFK are saying, we want Cox. We want Cox in the game. Cox may have a life yet. I mean, Mosley missed it very badly, and really, the last couple of years, Mosley's been taking a beating from the fans because the fans wanted Zendejas, and most of the Washington writers told me that Zendejas outkicked him last camp.
And here's the kick right here from Mosley. I think he knew as soon as he hit it, he knew exactly that ball and had no chance of going up for the winning field goal. I've seen punts look better than that kick right there.
Well, Jack, you brought up an excellent point in talking about the instant replay that was not used on a questionable call. Now, it'd be interesting to find out whether or not they just felt they didn't have the angle on it. Well, Campbell drops on it. We're going to overtime. We are going to overtime. 24-24. We have a 3-minute break. This is the way it works. There's the toss of the coin. We have a 3-minute break. And we'll get underway. It's sudden death for 15 minutes. Well, it's been a very good football game, Jack, to say the very least.
A lot of good plays. I think some of the young people have come on and played well. I think Darrell Sims has shown why he was a #1 draft pick last year. He's played hard the entire game when he has been in there. Gerald Williams has made big plays. And then also on the kickoff return, Earl Tucker running it back for the touchdown, and John Reister getting some play this evening. So I think so many people were down on Pittsburgh after the game against the Bears. I think they've come back here and played well in all departments. Mark Malone had a good first half, throwing the ball effectively, and that crafty old veteran Calvin Sweeney had 7 or 8 catches today.
Had a great night. We want to, assuming they're still here, it's not past everyone's bedtime, 11:15. We want to welcome our viewers from around the Wheeling, West Virginia, and Steubenville, Ohio areas. They are watching Steelers preseason football on WTOV TV in Steubenville. Also, our viewers in the Youngstown area, they are watching the Steelers on WKBN TV, channel 27 in Youngstown. And there's one more. All the folks up around Erie, PA, watching on WSEE, channel 35 in Erie. Welcome to everyone, one and all, on the Steelers 86 network. And we're glad to be presenting an entertaining football game for you. All right, the Steelers have lost the toss. The Redskins will receive.
I hope this game ends soon because I'm almost out of water.
Oh, that's right. Jack has been leafing through the water. A little warm and sticky here in the nation's capital tonight. We're going to take a look at the play that, frankly, has elongated this game. The Jeff Williams punt play. Did he or did he not have possession of the football when he fell on it? If he did, it should have been a safety.
You see it bouncing around right here. You see Cherry coming in and trying to cover up on Williams. We're trying to see right at the end here if this ball does come out. If the man that comes in second does score the touchdown or not. It looks like
no, there's no way that the other guy. The important thing is, Jack, not whether Williams has total control, but certainly the Redskin player did not. And at the point where Williams is touched by the Redskin player, the ball is dead. And let's remember something else. Dual possession goes to the offensive player. That's a bad call.
Well, the only thing they could have set up in the booth, the other official, is that Williams never had real control of the football. It might have been bouncing around. Couldn't really tell from there. That's the only thing they can possibly say why it's a Redskin touchdown, that he had never had real control of the ball. It was bouncing around. But that's why those officials are up there, and they maybe they didn't have a good angle on it, but here's a play that could have won the game for the Redskins. Mark Mosley's field goal attempt with about 10 seconds left to go in the game, and he just hits one of his worst kicks ever.
That looks like one of Bill Hillgrove's drives off the tee. That's exactly what that looks like. If that would have been Gerald Ford, he might have hit someone in the stands with that thing. Gary Anderson to kick off for the Steelers. We are in overtime.
Now, I called it about 10 minutes ago. OT.
You did. Lionel Vitale at the 2. He's fumbled once tonight. Takes a tackle and finally dragged down across the 35-yard line. And that's the kind of field position that the Steelers did not want to give up. Dwayne Woodruff ended up making the tackle on the rookie Lionel Vitale.
Dwayne Woodruff is a safety man on the kickoff. He's the end man coming down. He's to make sure that no one goes the distance for a touchdown. That time Vitale broke into the outside, threw a pack, and Woodruff had to make the tackle. He usually does not touch anybody on the kickoff, but he had to make almost a touchdown-saving tackle to stop Vitale.
It's sudden death overtime. However, if it does not reach a settlement by the 15 minutes, the game ends in a tie. Laufenberg over the middle. It is incomplete. Off the hands of Joe Phillips, the wide receiver. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
I think Tony Dungy feels some of his players are getting tired also. When you get a tired team out there on defense, that's when you try to play a lot of zone defense. They played zone on that time, no man-to-man, which can really fatigue a player. They played zone that time, a safe zone. It enabled the players to get a little bit of a blow.
The type of passing attack the Redskins employ, wouldn't that eat up a zone?
Exactly, but I don't think they expected zone on the first down play, and they went for an incomplete pass.
2nd and 10. Laufenberg gets it away, and it is caught for a first down up there midfield. A great catch by James Noble. He caught the touchdown pass earlier. Pretty good coverage by Kermit Sykes, but a better catch by Noble.
Good timing by Laufenberg to Noble. He turned around. You see him right now. dropping back, a little semi-roll. Then he delivers a football with a lot of pressure. Noble goes up for it, right in front of Sykes, makes the catch. Good timing between Laufenberg and Noble.
Ken Warnock on the rush. Laufenberg did get knocked down, but he got not before he got the pass away. The Steelers, by the way, have not recorded one sack tonight. Not one. 1st and 10 Redskins, just in Steeler territory. Delay to Garner, breaks a tackle, makes a move, and gets down near the 46-yard line. Rick Woods makes the tackle. And the Steelers really shuttling defensive players in there. Edmund Nelson's back in there. Gary Dunn is back in there.
When you could tell a fresh running back in the game. Garner was not played all that much up to the 4th quarter. He's getting a lot of play here in the latter part of the game and now in the overtime. He looks awfully quick, a little bit quicker than everybody else out there on the field.
Got an injured player, Chris Oswald, the first-year man out of Wisconsin, tender ankle. The Redskins are very thin on the offensive line because Russ Grimm, the Pitt All-American, is out with a bad foot. He has yet to practice so far this training camp, and also R.C. Thielman, the veteran from Atlanta, has an injury problem. He has not practiced.
And this is where when guys do get tired, that's when some of the injuries like ankle and knee problems do occur. When guys are out there, they can't really go 100% anymore. It's like I said, it's a hot, humid night here down in Washington. I'm not sure what the temperature was at game time, but you get a little more bumps and bruises right here in the overtime period.
I'm trying to remember the Steelers' last overtime game. It may have been that one that Matt Barr won with a field goal up at New England 6-7 years ago.
I have a hard time remembering yesterday.
This afternoon. No, sir. We got our folks working hard for us. It was back in 1984. They lost to Houston 23-20.
See the counter play right here. You see Garner took that jab step, gave him time for the offensive lineman to pulling to get out in front of him, and then he tries to break it to the outside off their block and get some good yardage.
So I remember that game, the Redskins winning with a field goal. It was one of those games that the Steelers had a big lead and lost it. On your right, that is Kelvin Bryant. On the left side of your screen, that is Doug Williams.
If you need a loan, go to those two guys. They just got a lot of money.
And they'll be joining the club at Carlisle, PA for practice on Monday. 2nd and about 6. Laufenberg is going to run. Hit hard by Williams, short of the first down at about the 43-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Redskins' first down.
And give credit to the Steeler defense. They reacted very quickly when Laufenberg put the ball under his arm and turned upfield. Williams coming up. You see him semi-rolling to his left, trying to find somebody open downfield. Pretty good coverage by Pittsburgh. Now they react. Eric Williams, who's a free safety, does not have anybody man-to-man, sees the quarterback, and he reacts very quickly up on the quarterback, Laufenberg.
Also, Edmund Nelson did a good job. He got off his block when he saw Laufenberg take off and forced him into Williams' arm. Another very important 3rd down. 3rd down and 3. First down, Redskins at the 32-yard line. Terry Orr. Kermit Sykes in the tackle. But again, that little slant pattern to the H-back, it is good for 10 yards and a Washington first down, and the Redskins again are in field goal territory.
He's trying to throw it to the H-back or out of the back in his formation where he's in motion. You see Sykes about a yard or two behind him, and he's not a very big defensive back to handle Orr like that one-on-one. He just breaks it back across the middle, gets the first down, and keeps his drive alive.
Well, now we see Steve Cox warming up on the sideline. The Redskins, presumably, are in field goal range. It would be a 50-yarder from here, but there's a lot of time to go. Garner, Course, made the play. Bob Course made the initial play, and Rick Woods cleaned him up. So Bob Course caught Garner in the backfield. He bounced off, but Woods knocked him down for a 1-yard loss, 2nd and 11.
Bob Course has seen that play run so many times tonight. When the guard and tackle pulled from the backside, he just came across the line of scrimmage, got penetration in between the two of them, and he was responsible for stopping that for about a half-a-yard loss. A
reminder that your late local news is coming up after the ball game, or by the time we get off, they might have one of those horror movies on that you only see at 1:30 in the morning. 2nd down and 11. 11-11 to play in the overtime period. Steelers with no rush at all. Man, wide open, and the pass is dropped by Joe Phillips. Had a first down at the 25. He flat out dropped it. Third down and 11. The Redskins, 30 out of 43 passing, 404 yards.
There's a situation where Williams tried to catch the ball, or as Phillips tried to catch the ball against his body. It bounced off his shoulder pad. He catches it with his hands and brings it in. He's a reception down inside the 20-yard line, and he just let it bounce right off his shoulder pads for an incomplete pass.
Laufenberg splitting playing time with Jay Schrader. Redskins 8 out of 14 third down conversions. They have hit some long ones recently. This is 3rd and 11. Nelson with a rush. He gets rid of it. It is incomplete. They were looking for Phillips. Chris Sheffield on the coverage. A flag is down. And the Steelers might take it to make sure that the Redskins are out of field goal range, because Cox, although he's been inaccurate tonight, does have a leg. No, he's got that kind of leg. He can kick 151 yards. I think they'll take it.
He hasn't kicked 110.
I didn't say he'd kick it straight. Well, they declined it.
He does have a strong leg, you're right, but they're bringing in Mosley to try
to kick one. Jack.
Cox does have the reputation of having a strong, and he can make the long field goals. You're right. I'm surprised they're bringing in Mosley, because if he misses this, Pittsburgh will have good field position, even though it is a preseason game.
I'm sorry, I disagree. I think you've got to take the penalty and take your chances on a 3rd down and 21. I know that's contradictory to what I said earlier, but it was a different circumstance. A 51-yard attempt by Mark Mosley, almost straight away. And the Steelers lose because of a very poor decision on the part of either the players or the coaching staff. The final score once again. The Washington Redskins in overtime, 27. The Steelers, 24. This is Stan Savran with Jack Ham saying so long from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. This has been a production of WTAE TV for the Steelers 86 Network.